All right.
Texas.
And we're rolling. Podcast, episode something, nobody keeps track. Welcome to the Foxhole. We have a new first-time guest with us. Introduce yourself.
Hey there, guys. I'm Colin. Known Jarvis and Parks for quite a while now.
You.
But he didn't even know we were doing the podcast. No idea.
I just subscribed.
My fault for never telling him.
It's true.
We don't network enough. That's
And
what
then,
it is.
obviously, we got Mr. Greg.
I'm Greg. How's everybody doing tonight?
Very punctual. He always makes podcasts. And then myself, and that'll be that for this episode. So, I'm doing well. I just bought a new Tacoma.
Nice.
I'm excited to mod it out and get all,
Tacoma.
Uh,
Fucking Tacoma.
real original of me. But
Of course.
I like the truck. I test drove it, and then I bought it like 3 seconds later.
You like that one?
How small white guy of you.
Yeah, right?
Very.
Even bargain.
Guess
No,
what's even
probably
smaller?
not. Your
my,
wiener.
My dingaling. I did bargain. I got them to knock off $100.
Mm.
Hey, a win's
Would
a
you
win. It
believe
don't
it?
even matter.
I said, hey, what can you knock off? He's like, I got you. I'm like, oh, okay. And it's like $100 cheaper. I'm like, oh, fuck you, all right.
Yeah, exactly.
But yes, a win
But
is a
thank me
win.
for my service. Did you even ask for the military?
He knew I was military.
Oh, that's why he
real-
got you.
Real
Yeah.
gay.
He's like, you serve. You look
I
like
came in there with my pants down to my ankles. Like,
believe
oh,
it.
he's in the military.
Wear your dress blues.
I'm like, all right, rate me, car dealership. He's like, oh, perfect.
Oh, too easy.
But yeah, I'm excited. It's nice to have a second vehicle with a family.
Mm.
Wouldn't
Instead
know
of
about the family life.
having to fucking flip-flop between schedules. And then now we're selling the house. I'm not going to say everything that's wrong with it so that the future owners can't be like listening to my podcast and sue me
Fucking no
for when their house explodes after I sell it to them, which it's not going to for legal purposes.
Yet.
Um,
We are in a dungeon right now.
yeah,
You call this a foxhole, but I called it a sacrifice.
like a dead foxhole.
Yeah,
Like a grave.
very much so. This is my first and last podcast, apparently, guys.
You will
The
survive.
next home, I'll have a bunch of land, and I want to get a studio for the podcast and a workshop for my knife company
Okay.
that I'm starting. Which, if anyone's interested, made by Jarvis on Instagram. Plug myself right there.
Shameless promotion, right?
Exactly. Just
It's
throw
all
that
about
in there.
the money.
It's all
I'm trying to work for myself. It's becoming more and more
prevalent.
difficult to have an enjoyable life without being independent. Especially like you just see how much the government's sticking their hands more and more, controlling people, a part of big corporations and stuff like that, trying to get rid of small businesses. More of a reason for me to start one. Fuck them, and fuck my freedoms being taken away. If I want to make money, I can make money. Even when money stops becoming feasible in like 10 years, and they're like, yeah, actually, Dogecoin is going to replace money.
I'm
Yeah.
ready for crypto coin to take over.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
it's going. They want it to.
They do.
And that's why you see all these richest people in the world dropping billions of dollars on it right now.
Yep.
Everybody's like, oh, it's such a high price right now. Yet they're still dropping billions,
Have you seen? I don't know if y'all
which
keep
means it's only going to go up.
I don't know if y'all keep
Exactly.
up with Logic, the retired rapper.
Is he retired?
Yeah, he retired. He's a Twitch streamer.
Shit, somebody
be
just
nice.
fucking
He's a
got
Twitch streamer.
shot in the front yard.
But he put in like a couple $1 million into bitcoins. Like,
Yeah.
just bought a couple $1 million worth of bitcoins. I was like, I'm not mad at you.
You see, I just made some money, and then I sold it all as soon as I made a good amount though. I made 100% profits in 1 week.
Nice.
good.
So I
though.
went from 1,500 to 3,000 in 1 week. Sold it. Then it all just crashed
Yeah.
yesterday. A smart person would buy it right back, but instead
Absolutely.
I'm just going to keep my money and continue on my way.
Keep it and run.
Give him the dash.
If it like crashes, then I'll buy it again. What I'm going to do now, before we get into the good juicy part of the podcast, is turn my phone on silent so nobody rings in the middle of me talking about the coolest shit ever.
This is nippy, man.
But recently, I've been going down a rabbit hole on the internet.
Oh, have you now?
Oh yeah.
So have I, actually. I've been doing my own thing lately.
What have you been?
Well,
Digging
I
into
quit drinking for the longest time, yeah. Well, I mean, you make exceptions here and there, but
Yeah.
I
I actually. Greg drove a hard bargain.
Yeah.
Offering up free drinks because I was like, I'm not going to drink this year, and so far I'm good.
I
And he's like, oh, I got
don't.
some drinks. I'm like, all right, well, I guess I'm not.
I started taking more like supplements and stuff. So like I had to like watch my diet and couldn't drink. And by supplements, you know what I mean.
Yeah,
And
I know what you mean.
but yeah, I'm not gonna say that one on
Flaxseed.
here. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like I went to the bar, got invited out one time, so I brought fucking Farah 5, and so we went to the bar, and again I got hearing aids, so like I can't hear anything really well out there, and we I had some girl like tap him on the shoulder, and this is the first time I had ever been picked up at the bar. Went home with her, didn't remember the rest of the night.
Supplements are doing you well.
They worked real well.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Got you a girl.
Yeah. But now I'm committed relationship. If
For
she
legal
ever
purposes.
if she ever listens to this, I'm in a very committed relationship.
You've got at least 3 years before anyone starts hearing this. On the rate
Oh,
in which
then we're
growing.
golden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can say whatever you want
Oh.
as long as it's
Yeah.
not going to hurt you in 3 years.
At this point, I don't even know. My divorce will be finalized on Monday, though.
Congratulations.
Congrats.
Can't fucking wait.
Hey.
Freedom.
Oh, absolutely.
Has it been a hassle because of COVID and stuff?
Not really. It's more so been a hassle because the bitch fucking, when we got back from deployment, wanted to like rekindle our relationship. And then that lasted 2 whole weeks. But it was just long enough for like stop our divorce.
Mm-hmm.
So then we had to restart it all.
Damn.
I was like, oh, you fucking stupid whore.
Damn you. Like, how dare you?
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy though. It's like those deployment stories. Like, yeah, so people gonna come back and get divorced, and you're kind of like,
Oh, you already got one.
and you're kind of just like, nah, and it just happens.
Yeah.
Say it happened with Flood,
Yeah.
but even me and Flood were just like, bro, I can see that a mile away. Like, it was just getting weird even
Yeah.
before then.
That's how ours was too.
Yeah.
Like she deployed first,
Mm.
and immediately things got sketchy. And then I deployed, and it was just like fucking 2 years of not seeing each other. Like,
Yeah.
that ain't gonna work.
I miss deployment.
Mm.
I miss how much sleep we
Every
got
fucking-
during,
oh.
during ARF.
Fuck ARF. ARF
I
was
am
absolutely no
excited.
fun.
I'm excited to hopefully get
That's
a
like heaven for me.
deployment in on the other side and see what that's like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I'm ready to move over to this new unit. So I can get these
Listeners
6
won't
month
understand,
deployments.
but I'm so salty that I never got to shoot anyone or shoot my weapon.
I'm very thankful that after you left, I was able to rip a 240 at that too. Not even my primary weapon, just a 240 in general.
You
Rip.
carry a gun the whole deployment. You fucking
Yeah.
shoot it at a fucking target a million times over.
I cleaned it a lot.
You fucking hear about all these stories about people getting attacked. We do a mission where we get shot at. Still, no trigger pulling. And then all the way up until I'm leaving the fucking country. I'm like 10 minutes from leaving. They blow up the building I'm in, and then I still can't shoot because I didn't even have a gun on me.
I still have all those pictures.
And then I leave, a few days after that because someone else goes and kills the people who tried to blow me up.
And then a month after you leave, I schwack some dude on a mountain ridge.
It's not that I wanted to kill someone. It's just that I felt like someone deserved to be killed by me, and I would enjoy it. Is that a little more political?
It's the grooming of over X amount of
Yeah.
years in the military. Just like, all right, I'm finally going to get to do my job.
I
And
joined as a
still don't get
child.
my
The day I
job.
turned 17, I joined. In the infantry, fully preparing myself for this until I convinced myself that I wanted to, and then never got to. So now I have to take it into my own hands.
Conus
And-
kills. Conus. All these listeners are
I
going
might
to be
get
fucking
arrested
running.
someday.
Yeah.
The FBI is just gonna raid my house. I'm like, what? We're like, we listened to your podcast
3 years ago,
I'm
you
like,
said
oh yeah,
this.
that's understandable. How much? 5-10 years of prison?
Yeah, that's not bad.
Then we're like, yes. Cool.
That last podcast we did,
Yeah.
the one that
The cookie
got a
ones?
little bit heated.
Yeah.
They were messaging me. They're like, it's private right now because they're like, please just make it private. I got a bad feeling about it. We said some fucking really sketch.
Oh, that's why I
controversial
couldn't
shit.
see it anymore?
Yeah.
Who wanted it private?
McKinnon, because he's scared he's gonna fucking
Oh
get
my.
in trouble. So I was like, all right, it'll go private for a period of time,
Hmm.
but that's going public in like a month.
At this point, I
So-
put my social out here. I don't care.
So it's,
Fuck it.
what is it now? Like, is there like a new, not a legislation, like UCMJ coming out, like, based on social media and
It's
soldiers?
yeah,
coming out?
everything
Probably.
everything that politics does for some reason just fucking trickles down into
Yeah.
the military. So
Yeah.
Well, did you guys
You know-
see the video that I just put on my Facebook today?
No.
I don't have Facebook.
Oh, that's true. You deleted it. Oh, well, yeah. You know how I always GoPro our jumps and stuff like that. Well, fucking did my GoPro on the jump and sent it to Butt Devil, which is the meme page. Everyone should go follow that one. But
But Devil Actual.
Butt
right?
Devil Actual, yeah.
Yeah.
So I sent it into Butt Devil and I was like, this is what happens when the Army says that you can't jump at 15 knots. and then miraculously 20 minutes after flying in the air,
2 knots.
there's 2 knots on the DZ and it's safe to jump. Yeah.
That's how I got my first concussion.
Oh, I definitely was concussed on Friday.
They're like 23 knots. I'm like, oh shit, no jump. That's what I'm talking about. Then they're like, next pass, 3 knots.
3
I'm
knots.
like, that doesn't make sense.
It's cool. It's crazy because they're always just like, "Oh, you're not airborne. Don't want to jump." Like, bro, I like my life. Like,
See,
I
that's
really
the
do.
thing is, I think we all can agree that jumping Hollywood on a nice day is amazing.
I've had a lot of Hollywood jumps in SWIC.
Literally
They
what
were
my jump
amazing.
was.
I got to the
Right.
82nd, and they were
See,
like, combat load,
We
night
just
jumps.
don't want
I
to get
was like,
raped in the air, and I think that's a reasonable thing not to want.
just to get current at that. Like, I'm not jumping
Yeah.
I'm not jumping anywhere.
Yeah, and see,
Like,
I
I just need to
volunteer
be
for all
current.
these. See, look,
What's
here, I'll
let's
even,
see.
I'll
We're
even
watching.
put
We're
this-
watching his video right now. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, this is gonna fucking suck. This is gonna fucking
Yeah, you always know.
I
The ground's
remember-
moving a little too fast.
What is that jump we did before we deployed? It was a couple. What was that FTX or?
Calfix?
I think it was
Pussy
Calfix.
Storm?
The
That got pushed, and
Yeah,
we
yeah,
didn't jump,
Pussy
and then we
Storm.
rolled. We got rolled the next
the one
day.
that somebody got electrocuted on.
Fuck yeah.
On the toe.
Yep.
Someone
the helicopter.
Didn't a couple people, like one dude broke his ankle.
Yeah.
A couple people got hurt. I hit the ground
That's
so
the
hard.
one dude who both his parachutes failed.
Yeah.
On that one, yeah.
Yeah, I remember, I'm a big dude, 280, and I came in hot on that ground, and I saw a crack, and I swear to God, I'm like, just if the wind pushed me over just like a couple of inches, that's like a foot, I would have hit that ditch.
Yep.
And I hit right next to it, and I rolled into it, and I still got dragged. I was like, bro,
That's
like,
tough.
fuck this.
That's tough.
I sold a phone to someone on the Golden Knights yesterday.
Oh, that's my dream job.
I said, how many jumps you have? He goes, 700.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Oh.
150 plus.
Damn.
Bro.
It's,
I've been doing a lot of research on, because I know back in the day, before I even got in the military, I'm like, I want to get my skydiving license.
Yeah.
So now, as of recently, I've been doing more research on it. And,
Working on that, actually.
Yeah, and I want to get that started. Cause it's like,
there's a
this is
place
something I wanna do.
on Rayford Road
Mhm.
that does it all. Yeah.
And you can use the Army.
Really?
Mhm.
'Cause I'm like, that's something I want to do. And I was watching a video where a dude had malfunctioned his parachute, and I'm like, he was gonna die. He hit the ground, and he was just like, no, he hit the asphalt. He
Ooh.
literally saw the grass, but he was so like he didn't even care at this point because he was like,
Oh, just cigarette rolling.
and he was like trying to break it open. He was getting it open, and he just got it open, maybe like 500 feet from the ground. Just boom! Everyone runs over. He was like, I'm alive. He was like, what the fuck?
But that hurt.
He hit the ground. I was just like, yeah, I can imagine, man. Like,
That would be tough. Yeah.
but I'm like, that's something I still want to do because I went skydiving before I joined the military, but I was tandem. And I
Yeah.
was like, yeah, that'd be dope doing it in the army.
different.
Well, I know, so.
Not the same.
Yeah, I should have did a
It
little
was
more
it was the
research.
perfect thing joining because he was like, well, yeah, I love camping. I love shooting.
Absolutely not.
I would love the idea of jumping out of a plane. You know, I love working
Bro.
out.
I'm
the
a
Army's
city
like,
boy.
don't worry, we do all of that here, but we got a little twist.
We're gonna do gay
The exact
things
same
with it.
thing, but instead there's a 13-foot dildo inside of it.
Oh,
That is fire guard.
How does it fit? We don't know, but it'll work.
that's
It'll
funny.
fit.
So like, now that I'm back in the National Guard, after they took 7 months to actually get a hold of me, which is dope. I got my
Done, fuck it.
I got my bonus. Like the day they called me, I checked
That's
the
when you
mail,
peace
and,
out.
and then my bonus was in the mail. It was in my box.
Change legally change your name.
Yeah,
move.
fucking dip.
And-
Thanks for the money.
And I get there, and I'm like, they're like, dude, what you expected? I'm like, it's exactly what I remember the Army to be. I don't like it. But it's like,
I'm done.
and I get there, and it's like, hey, we're mechanized. She's like, you know anything about Bradley? It's like, I was a Bradley gunner in my first unit. I'm
Yep.
Like, I know a little bit. Like, I may not remember everything, but I'm like, you can throw me there, I'm not going to be lost.
Probably know than they do, more than they do.
Yeah, and it's
Very
like
probably.
they gave a class, and me knowing commo and radio and shit, I'm like, oh, y'all want me to give a class? They gave the worst class in the world. I'm like, what is this shit? But it was a typical Army class of them. It's like, all right, here's the information. Click, 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 click.
Yep.
Hey, do you know how to turn on this radio? All right, we're done. I'm like, that was informative.
Effective.
I was like, thank you. It only took like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
But I'm like, that was wasting my time. I'm like, this is for real.
Oh,
I'm like,
bless
y'all
you.
didn't even
Thank
attempt.
you.
Like, y'all didn't even attempt to give a class. Like,
That's awful.
but yeah, like I was saying earlier, it's like I'm in F3 shops. I think I'm gonna be like the colonel's gunner.
Bitch. Oh.
Yeah, I'm gonna be his gunner, basically. I'm gonna be a colonel's gunner.
Interchangeable.
And they're just like, yeah, we'll be in F3 shops. But there's like, I literally, cause I was texting Holder about it, and I was like, I counted how many like enlisted. Like, so there's 2 E5s, myself and one other dude.
Yeah.
I saw one E4 that was in the office with me.
Oh.
I probably saw a couple around there. 3 different E7s,
Oof.
2 Master Sergeants,
That's gross.
3 different Sergeant Majors, like 4 Majors themselves. The lowest ranking officer there was a captain. Like, I was like, bro, like, I'm like, yeah, I'm NCO, but I'm the bottom of the
Yeah,
barrel.
you're the
And
Joe.
then Sergeant Major's like, yeah, he was like, you and you, he was like, y'all the NCOs here, y'all need to start tracking down. I'm like, bro, I just got here. I don't even know who the fuck these people are. But he was like, yeah, we need to keep them squared away. And I'm just like, and it's crazy, though, because as much shit as I talk about the 82nd and how much grief they give you, it is true. The 82nd is way more disciplined than most people in the Army. And I'm like, I hate that. It's
Yep.
true. I hate it.
Their own reckless ass ways.
It's because and like when I got in there and they thought like, oh, you deployed to 82nd, so they automatically like, okay, you're regular Army and you deployed. I'm
Yeah.
like, all right, bro. The first thing they asked about, you want to go to any schools? And I was just like, if I was a different soldier, I would say yes.
You should have said fucking free fall.
They were literally giving out, and they were like, do you have ALC done? I was like, yeah. And they were
I almost
like,
got
you
free
might
fall
get your 6.
school.
And I was like, all right, cool.
The first year in Fury, I almost got free fall.
You
school.
told me about that.
Bro.
Yeah,
you guys
because
had fucking
the
skits.
LURS guys,
Yep.
they disbanded. There was so all the open slots were for free fall. So I got a hold of it. Everything was lined up. All that one dude had to sign a paper, and it would affect him. He'd have guys in his unit that were cooler than him. And that's what he didn't like.
That's 100%
And,
it. every time.
So we didn't get to go. We could have gone. It was a few weeks, and
Yeah.
we all could have gotten free fall. And we had 6 slots. We could have sent 6 of us. And we're like, yeah, you just got to get it approved.
And
BC's
you
like,
would have been civilian certified,
nah.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, when fucking I had that meeting with Sergeant Major about switching units, Sergeant Major's big thing was like, all right, what can I offer you to keep you here? And I was like, well, I mean, if you're gonna offer me anything more than like $2,500 for 4 years, then like maybe we'll talk. But until you can't beat that, or since you can't beat that, I want free fall. He was like, oh yeah, about that. What about like Ranger School? I was like, oh my fuck.
Like, y'all
Stop
just-
shoving Ranger School down everyone's goddamn throat.
Yeah, man. We know everybody. You want everyone to be Ranger Tab qualified. Like, Ranger qualified, bro. Like, get out of here.
There's so many pieces of shit with Ranger tabs, and there's so many bad leaders with Ranger tabs. It does not make you a good leader.
Bro, Sergeant Lenny said the best, too. Like, because even when I was getting out, he was like, man, he was like, just extend for a year. I'm going to be over in Scouts for you. Just extend for a year and be my my senior RTO. He's like, I know you're Echo, because he's Echo qualified. I'm Echo
Yeah.
qualified. He was like, I can swing it to get you over here. And their big argument was, Parks doesn't have he doesn't have a Ranger tab. And he was like, I was all right at Ranger School. He went through SUT. He was like, it's the same shit. And
Yeah.
he learned more over there. He's like, and I know this for a fact because we both went through the same training.
Yeah.
So he was like ready to sell it, but even though he was asking me, he was like, I know you're still going to say no. And I was like, no.
No.
Yeah.
I'm ready to get out.
bunch of stupid shit. But for the podcast's sake, because we've had a few episodes where we just military everything.
Yeah.
So we got to switch it up a little bit.
Oh, these are the past military stories, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What
We,
about future financial endeavors? I know you're trying to get land, like you're saying, getting out there.
Yeah, so my future goals right now is I'm trying to get some land, start up my own knife shop there, and then I just want to do that. Work for myself, start my knife company, maybe get like an employee or two, just so we can continue to produce them. But it's like, although there's, a decent amount of people in the business, it's actually, like, if you do it well, such an easy business to start.
Oh, sure.
Because everybody buys knives. Like, you get
Yeah.
so many different groups of people buy knives, and like a good custom knife, like, people are willing to pay for it. And so just like the profit to material ratio is really good, and so it's going to be just nice to be able to do what I'm passionate about for once. And so I'm working on that. I've made a few knives now, sort of getting the art down, and then once it's down, that's when I'm going to open up my online shop. Once I know I'm putting out good products, because I'd hate to put out
Absolutely.
bad products at first.
Yeah.
But-
First impressions always.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get a bunch of land and do my own thing. I'm working on my degree right now
That's what I need
to be a
do.
history teacher, but
Wow.
I feel like
Not what I
by the
expected.
time I finish,
did.
yeah, I'm about 9 months into it now. But by the time I finish this degree, right now I'm doing it mainly for financial reasons, honestly, because the GI Bill pays me $800 a month to go to school,
Sure.
and but I actually did want to be a history teacher. But I feel like at the rate in which, because people are already asking me for custom knives, like way more than I can upkeep. So I feel like by the time I'm finished with the degree, I'll be making money on my own, and I'll just have a degree, and I won't be a teacher. But at least it'll be like a degree I can hold for a backup plan. Go teach kids, about history that's a little bit more true than what they're being force-fed.
Yeah, you say that now until you're fired.
Yeah, until I'm
week.
fucking thrown in cuffs
Yeah.
because I say something that's true, and
That's
they're
why
like,
I could never
"That's
be a
not how we're
teacher."
brainwashing kids these days."
I'm not politically correct enough.
But I would want to teach at like a private school,
Yeah.
so I could have more say on my own curriculum.
You say that, except I went to a Catholic high school.
Not a fucking.
Okay, you don't want to go to Catholic school. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. I just want to make sure that we're on the same page. Like,
But the like a charter school of some sorts. But in reality, I think that this knife company is actually going to work out, and I have high goals for it, and I'm going to put a lot of time and effort into it. I probably won't be teaching in 4 years.
That's always the goal.
Dude, I'm so excited to have the possibility to just work for myself, because you have no idea how much I fucking hate people. People and their ideas
I know you
and the
do.
way that they think they can tell me something, and you just, if they're in charge of you, you can't really like tell them they're wrong.
Jones.
You just gotta fucking go along with it, especially in the military.
Fuck
It's-
Oh,
That's why I can't do the military. It's like, because I can't just automatically be the highest rank. I gotta deal
Work
with
your
everyone's
way up,
bullshit.
yeah.
I gotta
Like,
let somebody else.
I
tell me
like
I'm-
the idea of like the ancient militaries where it's like lineage or like proving yourself
on
like
the battlefield.
random
You mean murder? Like,
Yes.
You don't like your leader,
Yes.
just fucking off him. Yeah.
people like Alexander the Great were taking over the whole fucking world, leading their own militaries in their early 20s, and now it's like, well, if you're not like 40, how can we expect you to lead people?
True.
Like, how the fuck does he know something that I don't? Because he
Right?
lived 10 more years. Like, fuck
Oh,
him,
man.
and him being everyone.
Overall.
Yeah, no, I just want to work for myself. I don't like dealing with people's bullshit. That's because I'm like super stubborn and I think I know better than everyone else, which isn't the case, but I'm going to continue to tell myself
But
that.
it's true. Yeah, you do think that.
I can't help it.
I would love to work for myself. I'd love to get out of the army and like open my own woodworking shop. And
Yeah.
do all that shit again that I did in high school, and that'd be fun as fuck.
What if you can, well, you probably will because Army fucked you up enough. Get that disability, you can work towards those passions.
Yeah.
Because what, you got 5 years till you're free?
Woo.
I have. So I've been in 7 years now. I'm trying to make it to at least 15. Trying to make it to 15 years, then get out.
I'm gonna be
15
dead by
miles
then.
Retired.
That's what I'm saying. I can retire at 15. I'm on the old retirement too.
Oh shit.
So yeah, I don't have to. I'm not on that fucking pay in 401k shit.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Explain this to me.
So in 14.
Did I fuck up somewhere then?
I mean, when'd you come in?
2013.
Oh, you went in 13? Yeah.
Yeah.
So you should have been on the old retirement with me. Like, unless you transitioned into the TSP.
I did.
Yeah, I didn't. I was on the fucking old one. So like at 15 years, you get like whatever it is, a certain percentage of your pay.
Oh, that's when they were talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was looking at that.
And my
I know what you're talking
dumbass,
about.
smartly, just fucking was too naive and was like, I don't want to be lazy.
Because that's when they were super harping on it, and I remember it was like a 2-hour class,
Mm-hmm.
and I was reading it from a financial standpoint. Because financially, like investing wise, I was like,
Yeah.
well, this isn't bad. Like I agreed with a lot of it, and I was like, oh, but then at the same time, someone's like, well, if you don't plan on staying in, there's no point to switch over.
Yeah, there wasn't. Yeah.
And hindsight 2020, after my whole incident with Sergeant Milton and shit, that's when I was like, I'm done.
Yeah, I don't
So,
blame you.
Yeah, like I'm done.
Well, I was gonna get out in December, and then that fucking stupid bitch of a divorce.
Yeah.
So, plans change, but
Cunts being cunts.
cunts are cunts. I fucking hate them.
So your future is probably in the SFAB.
My future is, at some point, my goal is to get at least like 2 more deployments under my belt,
Yeah.
and then I'm gonna
Hopefully
go find
in
a
a
Maybe
cooler
dark
location.
fucking
we'll
hole.
see each other.
Yes,
Overseas.
and then I'm gonna go find a dark fucking hole to hide in, and not leave until I hit that 15-year mark, so my back doesn't get more fucked, and I don't have to have these rods, and then my ears are already fucked. So like I'll just continue to wear hearing aids, but yeah, and then I'm gonna go fucking hunt and live off the land, and hopefully do some woodworking shit.
Amen.
I would love
Amen.
it. I don't know how to hunt. That's
Yeah.
something I want to learn how to do.
Oh, it's so much fun.
But my big thing, I'm trying to get into real estate. So
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Make some big
So right
bucks.
now, I am trying. Like right now, I have a good chunk of cash saved up. I'm trying to get my first deployment in after this lease is done, because we just renewed. So once this lease is done, I'm planning on to purchase a home. I'm gonna try to purchase like a duplex, triplex, or fourplex.
Yeah.
And try to get that ball rolling. Because I even told myself like, the goal is to make passively $100,000 a year, just passively.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't need to work for anybody that much. That's way above my means than like I've ever lived in my life. Even now, even when I'm making so much more money, that I look at it as, if I can't make that in 5 years, there's something wrong. Because I'm like, typically people say you can become a millionaire in 2 to 3 years, and I was like, that's probably true. And I'm like, if I can't make $100,000 in like 5 years, there's something wrong.
Yeah, sure.
And like that's all I want. And I've calculated. I'm like, I just need to own 25 properties, making a minimum of $500 a month, like after everything. And I'm like, that puts me right over the cusp of $100,000. And I'm like, I've already looked at other videos. People are like, yeah, I own 25 properties, and they're making like $250,000.
Oh yeah, easy.
So I was like, I can do that.
You haven't used your GI Bill yet either.
I haven't.
So if you use your GI Bill, you know how it has to be like your primary residence.
Yeah.
But if you buy a duplex or even more properties on top of it, as long as you live in one of them motherfuckers, that's legal.
Yep, and that's what I'm gonna do. I'm like, all right, and then they say you can just keep flipping it after you pay it off.
Yep.
Refinance that the apartments, just throw it back into itself. Just keep repeating it.
Absolutely.
And I'm like, I'm making enough from this job that I'm like, all right, even if my tenants are paying on my mortgage, I can still probably pay off my mortgage within 5 years or X amount of time, whatever. And just get the ball rolling. So I know. So 4 turn, I got 4 turn 8, 8 turn 16. I'm like, I'll be there. I can get there in 5 years.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I can be retired.
Because you're doing the contracting, and have you like lined up any of these contracts yet?
Mm-mm.
No. Yeah, I've been on my resume and whatnot is on Silent Professionals, so
No.
I've been waiting to like see if that's a route that I want to take, like go down that dark hole that is Academy or whatnot.
Mine is like super chill. I'll tell you guys more like offline.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's super chill. Like nothing super crazy. Nothing that we haven't already learned.
Yeah.
I didn't walk in there thinking like I didn't know what I didn't know. Like I did walk in there and just like, all right, I don't know this information, but it's not like I can't learn it.
Yeah, sure.
But it was good. It's good stuff. I enjoyed it so far. Like I was saying, like the only thing that makes me nervous is like I am still learning it, and like I know I'm not going to get fired for no reason out of the blue. But I'm just nervous because I'm like I don't feel like I know enough information to feel confident to like teach someone as of right now. But I'm like, if you told me to do it, I'm like, I can give you. I know how to give classes to Army soldiers, so I can fake it.
Yeah, that's all you gotta do. Fake it till you make it.
Yeah.
Mm.
I was thinking about starting a cult.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Bell Special.
Yeah. Fact.
Have
Talk
fucking
about passive income.
12-year-old fucking.
Have you
girls.
looked into how much money these cult leaders make?
Yes.
They convince people
until
that
the
it's
fucking
their life's
FBI raids
destiny.
them.
That's long term. Short term, right? That's because they're.
You just gotta get some of the Kool-Aid.
That's because they're not armed enough.
Enough.
Yeah. If FBI members are walking out alive, your cult
You're failing.
is rookie. You know, I'm trying to get one of these like
Let's be
cults that
honest.
turn into like a country.
The FBI are just
Or
glorified cops.
you can go. There's countries out here that are poor enough that you can go there with like $5,000.
Y'all seen
Yeah.
buy 'em.
y'all
Yeah.
seen like micronations?
Yeah.
Mm.
That's what I'm gonna start.
A micronation?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you're like fucking Seattle, you can just make your own fucking little cordoned off zone.
That's true.
in the
Yeah,
city,
yeah.
'cause, you know,
All it takes is
that.
a couple of hair dyes,
Yeah.
a little bit of weed, and a big BLM poster, and you've got your own city.
God,
It's pretty simple.
it's fucking insane.
The cops are like, "Peace out. We don't even care. You can do whatever you want because someone told us to." So
Speaking
fuck
of this-
upholding, the law.
We're gonna go on a little fucking tangent real quick. Oh my fuck. All right. So I am not politically correct by any fucking means.
Neither am I.
But have you guys fucking seen this shit with the LGBTQWIZ?
What? Yeah.
They now have a plus sign at the end of it, right?
Yeah.
What the fuck? What is a plus sign? even
I
mean?
got you. And
And
I've
what does
done my research.
pansexual mean, dude?
Oh man. All right. So that's kind
It's
of like the plus.
unlike I was
God.
thinking.
Yeah.
It's not attracted to kitchenware.
Okay.
Because that's
Because I wasn't sure at this point.
No. I had to Google it because I was like, I was on X videos and she's like, I'm pansexual.
Oh, what the
What the fuck is this?
Wrong video.
So basically, it's
Or
they
maybe.
love like anyone. So if
What
they're
the fuck?
so they identify as anything they want, but you can be a
Humans
trans
though,
male.
right? Not
So I'm
animals.
Apache helicopter?
Yeah. So you can say I'm like I identify as a woman, but you identify as a woman, but you're a male. And then, or you're
But
a
you're a
trans who
male.
identifies as a male, or a male who trans. Like it's like interchangeable. So it's like whether
So
you're
it's being straight with extra steps.
no. So it's like they don't care what you are, whether you're straight, bi, trans, male, trans, female. Like I'll still fuck you.
Mm.
I still no.
As
let's
long
say
as there's
I
an
still
orifice.
love you.
Yeah, apparently I'll fucking.
I could still be politically
What the
incorrect,
fuck?
but they love everyone.
So it's
they
an
don't
infantryman
discriminate.
with extra steps.
Apparently, yeah.
It's like being a Marine, man.
What
Yeah.
in the fuck?
So I looked into the Plus, right? So they've got all kinds of shit.
I fucking
right?
believe it.
Like
Oh man.
99 genders is what I heard last.
something like that.
Yeah.
I think it's like 78.
The
you
last
know?
I heard, there was a dick and there was a fucking cunt or a vagina.
No, so they've got like male, but 30% of the time female, and then 10% of the time male identifying as female but attracted to frogs. And it's like, that's a gender now. Like, why does that have to be a
believe it.
fucking
I
gender?
remember.
believe it.
You remember the push when they were trying to be like, they were trying to push pedophilia in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember people were gonna burn them to the stake to the point they were just like, you know what?
I'll kill
We're
that.
just not gonna. We're gonna keep that one off the table. Like,
They tried.
love is love. Like, y'all motherfuckers tried, but if y'all accepted them, y'all would lose all
Oh,
credibility. Like,
100%, yeah.
y'all like what little credibility you do have between most people. Like, if you got that, they would be on a manhunt.
Unfortunately, with this fucking nation that we're under, it's
Half these
fucking growing.
Half these fucking politicians are pedophiles.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
There's literally, like, in our fucking own neighborhood, the guy who owns the Lawlier Chevrolet place,
Yeah.
the Chevy dealership in
Oh.
Fayetteville,
Mm.
he was arrested for having sex with a 12-year-old boy.
Classy.
And he's not thrown in jail. They let him out because he's a part of the political group in our little town.
That's
Like, not
awesome.
even a big one. They're like, nah,
That's insane.
we won't get promoted if we
I just don't
throw him in
understand it.
jail for pedophilia, so we'll let it slide.
I feel like that's a fucking mental condition. Like, if you can, like, when I wake up in the morning and, like, fucking see my heart on, never once has, like, oh, I'm a female today, ever crossed my fucking mind.
We need World War III.
We need a plague, dude. We need a plague.
That's
We
the
have
thing.
one.
COVID
That's
tried
not a
so
plague.
hard. COVID tried to take out these fucking
No,
weirdos.
COVID was the
COVID
apocalypse
is like
on
a
Easy Mode,
plague,
and we're
but we
still
ordered it
filming.
on Wish.
Yeah.
We ordered it on
However,
version.
however, for some reason, the response, it's like Gucci response.
Yeah.
Like, they're like, fucking lockdowns, mask, mandates,
You know,
closing
so-
down businesses.
I have a little theory with the whole COVID and like the lockdowns and stuff. I think that's
It's probably
like,
true.
I think it's a little bit of probing. I think
Yeah.
it's probing in the sense to see how people react.
Fact.
To,
Yeah.
To certain scenarios like martial law, like if we do
Yeah.
actually go on a full lockdown, like how will the people react? So now we're kind of subconscious conditioned to like, okay, if we go on lockdown, we know kind of the scenarios to deal with.
Fucking buy all the 30 racks.
They're also
And the
using
fucking
it.
toilet paper.
Do you know how much fucking money has been made because of the lockdown? For example,
look at
Dr.
Amazon.
Fauci, he's made millions.
Look at
Big
Amazon.
corporations, because they shut down small businesses and then gave Americans thousands of dollars,
Mm-hmm.
they had to spend it all online. Mm-hmm. There goes fucking Amazon, a fucking $50 billion check. They're like,
Oh,
oh, thanks.
see,
I'll
you
slip
can-
you $100 million, Mr. Politician, to
There's a way
keep
you
this
can go
going.
on your Amazon account and see how much money you spent. Like, from day
Yeah,
one.
I heard about that. I just refused to.
I
look.
want to know.
I
Like,
refuse.
I have it in my
Yeah,
algorithm
so-
on TikTok saved, and I'm just like, I'm gonna go in there. I'm gonna look at this.
This-
I'm gonna be angry at myself when I see this number.
Yeah.
Let's-
This so this fake ass fucking pandemic is gonna last right now. So obviously the first lockdown was 14 days and everything goes back to normal.
Sure.
Right. We're over a year into that lockdown, and now it's gonna be lasting until 2022 for the masks, guaranteed.
Oh my god.
And for no other reason than control. And that's what it is. Because if they can keep masks on, they can keep dictating who gets in trouble and who doesn't. Because they can use that to fucking anything in the name of COVID. Like I watch the White House press briefings with that bitch Jen Psaki, the fucking whore. I would fucking break her arms.
The whore?
Mrs. Circleback, because she can't answer questions.
Oh.
So her response to everything is COVID. So there was a reporter who asked her a question about the fucking kids at the border. Because,
Yeah.
surprise, surprise, the border didn't change how it works when Biden got elected. And so they're like, ask a question. So they're like, so why is it cages or children in cages when Trump's in office? What is it called when you're in office, since they're still there in the same buildings? And they're like, you don't understand. COVID has made it so that we can't, do anything about these kids. So we've had to separate them and isolate them. So now they're fucking actually putting them in cages because they're like,
Yeah,
well, we
now
don't
they're
want the
actually
kids
there.
to make each other sick. So we've separated all the children. And it's like, oh, okay, yeah.
I was like, now I think
As
about-
long as we can keep them from getting sick, we can do anything. Because for some reason, it's more important to keep people from getting the flu than it is to actually save their lives. Suicides doubled in 2020 from 2019.
Yeah, I've thought about it.
Deaths
sometimes.
from sickness did not change from 2019 to 2020. the flu takes just as many deaths. They just didn't blast it into your fucking news station.
Yeah, exactly.
And
That's
so
the
everybody's
big
like,
thing.
oh yeah, it's no big deal. I fucking hate how everyone just fucking bends over and lets the fucking
It's
government
crazy.
give
So
it
when
to
I was
them.
working in the hospital before I got my new job, and just seeing how much, like, you can tell, like, how rampant COVID was getting based on, like, oh, first we just have the 8th floor, then it became the 8th floor and the 6th floor, then they turned the psych ward. We had to move all the psych patients out, and they were like, oh, now this floor is a COVID floor. I was like, bro, what's going on? And it's like, I'm seeing, and then I'm picking up patients from ER with COVID, bringing them up to a COVID floor, and a lot of the symptoms are just basic symptoms. Like, yeah, I'll get onesies and twosies who are like, I can't breathe, they need to be on oxygen, all like to the T. Yeah, to the T. And then, but majority of them, I'm just like, you were just out there partying with your friend, and you caught the bug.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you're 21, you got COVID, like, you're literally not on oxygen, you're not doing anything wrong. Yeah, like she's like, yeah, I woke up, my chest was, like, feeling tight, and I thought someone was up, and then figured out she had it, but outside of that, I'm like,
Yeah.
it was the majority of them, like, yeah, you're up here on this floor fine.
I'm waiting for Jarvis to rip my ass, but I was forced. I said no like 3 fucking times, but I did get double vaccinated. I fucking knew it was coming.
I got my first vaccination,
But-
I can't lie.
Let me tell you about it. It is the most fucking miserable thing in the world. The first I don't know if it worked for you, but the first dose I got, I felt like dog shit.
I had a bad headache.
The second dose I got, I was down for a total of 24 hours.
I'm so scared
Thankfully,
to
I
get
got
sick
it
that I'm gonna
Friday.
go get sick on purpose.
I know, and that's what I said too. But like, of course, you know,
No, I know how the
I'm
military
still
works. You don't get a
owned.
choice. Yeah.
You guys aren't owned yet.
Yeah, so I kind of had to. So they offered it when I got to the National Guard. That's why I got it. Which would you get, Pfizer or Moderna?
I got Pfizer.
I got Moderna. I think I'm saying.
All right,
that.
and
Yeah.
we'll see who
Yeah, we'll
lives
see.
longer.
Yeah.
Hey, but
You
in my
know-
defense, I already got COVID once. Like,
Yeah.
I
So
didn't even
then
know I
why
had
would
it.
you need the vaccine?
That's what
Your
I
body
fucking
built
said.
up the immunity,
That's
right?
what I tried to argue.
Wrong. They even
Didn't
told
matter.
you, the fucking government's literally laughing at everyone. They're like, all right, everybody has to get in this box. It'll save them. But it won't. But you have to get in anyway. Why do we have to get in? Because we said so. And if you don't, we'll
It'll be
fine you.
they're already talking about it's going to
They're-
be a seasonal thing.
They said the vaccine, even once you get both, you can still get it. You can still pass it. And it changes nothing. You still have to wear your mask and lockdowns still continue. So, okay, so what the fuck is the purpose of the vaccine? Well, you know, obviously it's the step towards stopping this. And we will never go back to quote-unquote normal and free. We'll never go back to being free people until not one person ever has COVID. And COVID is a seasonal thing, which means we now fucking have a little more of an authoritarian regime than we had yesterday. And that's going to continue because we like it. We like the power. We like the money. We like how much control we have. You know what happens when politicians have too much power? Corruption. You know what corruption does to a group of 300 million people who have more guns than there are people? Ooh. Revolutions. I'm
You
just
mean
saying,
revolution,
like,
turns on a wheel.
Yeah.
the
They didn't buy the whole I don't like shots thing either, which I do. I hate fucking shots, man. My palms get sweaty. And like,
Knees weak,
I,
arms are
yeah, it's
heavy.
100% Eminem. Like, I get so fucking tunnel vision, like I'm a faint. And everyone always looks at me like how I don't understand because obviously I got sleeves, but
what's that place called? 30th AG.
yeah,
Yeah.
So
hell,
yeah, after being up for 72 hours, they take your blood and everything,
Yeah,
and
you
then
fucking
vaccinate
pass
you
the
and
fuck
stuff.
out.
Yeah, I passed out. I never passed out before. That was weird. Because
Oh,
they're
okay.
like, yeah, we're going to take your blood and we're going to give you all these vaccines and you've been up for 3 days. Yeah, I
That's
fucking
true,
blacked
man.
the fuck
Oh my
out. And
God.
I woke up like 3 minutes later. I was like, I closed my eyes and I opened them and there was more people around me than it was just like a second ago. I'm like, what the fuck?
Trainee,
is
get the
happening?
fuck up.
And they're like slapping me. They're like, you good? You good? I'm like, why would I? Wait, what? Why are there so many people around me?
The way the military deals with anything is
I
like,
love it.
put as many people around him and beat the shit out of him until he wakes up.
If everyone's here, he'll be okay.
But yeah, it's just like everybody just really will go along. If the news like
Yeah.
condemns something, everybody else will just go along with them, condemn them too. Everybody's like, oh, I fucking hate you, you Nazi. Yet you're the ones who are doing everything the news says. In World War II, you'd be the same fucking person putting your neighbor in a fucking shower full of gas. Guaranteed. It's the same
Yeah.
fucking type of people.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
guess what the Nazis did first? They took the guns away from their people. So that way they couldn't defend themselves. the people who are fucking defending the vaccine. Take our fucking guns. Take our guns. Only the military should have stuff. Only the cops should have that stuff.
Oh yeah,
but
these
also
fucking
defund
new
the police.
bans. Oh
Like,
my god.
What do you fucking want? They're like, well, whatever the news tells me I want. Because I've got no fucking spine and I can't think for myself.
You want actual fucking good like overseas news? Like I the only news I get about like Iraq, Afghanistan, all that shit.
Al Jazeera.
Al Jazeera, 100%, dude.
Dude,
Like that's the only accurate.
it's so fun to watch news provided from other countries.
Yeah.
Have you seen Sky News from Australia
Yep.
when they talk about America? It's hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
They're like, yeah, so Joe Biden's dementia is getting really bad, and we don't know why Americans don't say anything about it. They fucking laugh in our face
They
because we're so
fucking know.
fucking
It's the same
dumb.
thing when it wasn't language and we had to watch Brazilian Network. I was like, bro, like that government. So this is what I used to say. I was like, man, their government's corrupt as fuck.
Brazil? Fact, yeah.
And I was
Yeah.
like, it's corrupt as fuck. I'm like, but you know what's the problem they have? I was like, they're messy. That's why they're always getting caught. Like the U.S., I'm like, yeah, I'm like, they do their dirt too, but I'm like, y'all, like, he was like, oh, I'm gonna take like 20 reais, 20,000 reais, 20 million reais. Next thing you know, he was like, 250. I'm gonna stash it in the favelas. You were like, bro, what are you doing? Like, he was like, oh, I've been skimming off the top, and he's just increasing how much he's skimming every time he takes some. And I'm just like, but I will say this. Their fucking SWAT team, their BOPI teams.
Who, Brazil?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man,
Badass.
I would put money on them in like close quarters
Yeah,
combat.
they deal with fucking
period.
gang shit
They're
on a
fucking
daily.
they're cartels though. That's how
Yes.
like my second fucking third, I don't remember what, some fucking family member that's far away got schwacked, dude. Like
Bro.
the fucking cartel, he was like their TSA or whatever. And I guess some cartel dude like tried to come through with a bunch of coke, and this cousin of mine like stopped him or flagged him or tried to snitch. And they just fucking annihilated this dude. Like
I agree, you know, coke's a problem and everything. But think about, like, when people are enforcing stuff, like 90% of the time, they don't enforce it because they
No.
actually believe it. They just
Yeah.
enforce it because they're told to enforce it. And,
Let's
like,
be real. If
police
it's a
officers-
cartel, I'm gonna let it
like,
go.
think about the laws that we have and why they're enforced. Like if somebody runs a stop sign and there's no cars around and everybody knows it's safe,
Yeah.
like, that's illegal and you get fined for it.
Yes.
You have to pay the government now because you ran a sign that said stop, an inanimate object, because it's safe. But someone with common sense can see that there's no cars coming
Yeah.
and go past this stop sign.
Live in LA, they used to do that a lot. Like,
Nobody's around, didn't endanger anyone, and now they have to pay for it.
whoop,
Yeah.
whoop.
But then, like, there's other crimes in which people get harmed, but they're like, well, we don't have enough evidence, we can't fucking do anything, we're not gonna do anything because, you know, it's, nobody saw
Yeah,
it.
those traffic violations, how they keep the
That-
funds
it's
going.
money right there.
It's
It's
100% money.
quotas. Why is there? If you really want something to stop happening, why is it that you have to have a certain amount of people do it? They're like,
True.
We need 20 speeding tickets this month. Why? Wouldn't you want 0?
Yeah.
Like, no. You get in trouble for not giving out enough tickets. Mm-hmm. So that's why you start seeing cops fucking entrapping people in these speed traps and
I
stuff
hate
because they
speed
have
traps.
to.
Oh, yeah,
because
100%.
it's just money and everything that money controls.
And I'll say cops as a whole, since we're on this topic, are fucking dickheads. Like cops themselves don't necessarily aren't shitheads.
Yeah.
It's their fucking municipalities that they work for. The only reason I know this is because like, so homeless population, yeah, they suck. Like I get it. Some of them are fucking a pain in the
Stupid
ass.
poor people.
But like as a whole, like since my fucking soon to be, God thank God, ex fucking cunt of a wife is a cop, and she would like tell me the stories about how like they would just be fucking minding their own business, and then like their whoever's in fucking charge of the cops would be like, hey, there's like homeless people over here at this location, go over there and destroy their fucking camps. So like they just go over there and just fucking like slash their tents or like fucking yeet all their shit into the woods or fucking smash everything. Like, why? That's all they have. Like now you're just being a cocksucker for no reason.
Yeah.
They're in the woods. Like you had to go hunt for them.
Like you went out of your way.
Yes, to just destroy
Like,
their shit.
All right, they got a shanty village over
Yeah.
there, and they're fucking minding their own business. Like, well, if our living situation wasn't like this, they wouldn't be like this.
Yeah.
And it's like the same thing. Like when I took my wife to LA, and she got to see Skid Row for the first time, and I told her, she was like, because she never been to the West Coast, and she was just like watching all her YouTube videos and like, oh, I can't wait to see this, and this, and like, I always conveyed to her, I'm like, hey, I grew up in the hood. I'm like, I grew up poor. Grew up in South Central Los Angeles, and I was like, she always knew the conversations, but she didn't realize it until I went home, until she saw like how I lived when I was growing up versus how she lived when she grew up, and she was like, LA, she's like, this is not what I thought. She's like, everything they showed me is a lie. I'm like, yeah, they showed you the fucking
Yeah,
valley.
the rich
I was
people.
like, they showed you the valley. I can take you to the valley. I can take you like to Venice Beach and Newport Beach and all that stuff. Like, yeah, it's nice. I was like, but literally right around that corner, there's a fucking crackhead. There's a fucking like my best friend, like my buddy Donovan, when we first got to Fort Bliss on the Armor Story. I took him to LA for our first holiday because he didn't want to go home.
Mhm.
And he like, hey G, let me borrow your car. I was like, yeah, like gas station up the road because he's gonna get cigarettes. He smashes back to the house and he was like, yo, he was like, you will not believe what happened to me. I was like, what? He was like, all right, so this crackhead came up to me and she was like, can I get $1? And he was like, no, I don't got one. He's like, but I was gonna give her one after I got done buying cigarettes. She's like, I'll suck your dick.
Oh, yeah.
And he was like, I swear to God, I thought that only happened in movies. I was like, no, this is real life out here. Like, this is not a joke. I was like, this is real life.
That's fucking awesome. That's crazy that we grew up like
Did he
complete
take her up
polar
on it?
opposites.
No, he didn't.
Nah, that's too
What?
bad.
Yeah, I would have. I mean, I grew
But a
up fucking
crackhead would.
white suburbs of St. Louis. Like,
man.
we have a lake house. My dad's a fucking business guy. Like, complete polar opposite.
About a
Oh,
happy
yeah.
medium in between you
Yeah.
guys is where I grew up. You know,
But
military brat.
and we're
moving
all
around
in the same
country.
fucking basement, scary thing.
Yeah,
and
right?
fucking-
Look at this now.
Yeah.
Hey, yeah, life is fun. It's an interesting game that we're all playing.
Bro,
Trying to figure it the
and
fuck
we're
out.
playing by someone else's rules
that's the worst
because
part.
we're all a bunch of bitches.
I couldn't even pick my stats. At least in D&D, I can pick my stats. I can probably like.
Well, that's
you know
what fucking-
charisma, bitch.
That's what drugs are for. Alter your stats a little bit.
Alter your
I'm
stats.
telling you, yeah, that's why I've been on it.
Fucking, and then other drugs altering in the other way. You
On
know?
the gear lately.
Meth heads be like, I'm too powerful.
Bro, he was like, bro, you ain't got no teeth.
Yeah.
He was
I
like,
was
I just
too
moved
good
this
looking.
wall. I just destroyed the wall of my mind. Like, no, you didn't.
The yeah, man, I've been fucking doing a lot of research lately. I've got so much time on my hands. I've been just
I
fucking
don't.
diving into the deepest, darkest corners of the internet to try and like I just like learning stuff and just like learning
I thought
more
you
and
would
more
say
about who's calling shots on different things, who's making decisions about where all the money's going in our government, like what people are doing and where and why, and like the shit that's going on behind the scenes is so much sketchier than anyone could have ever fucking thought.
Get on the dark web.
So I've
I wouldn't even say it dark. It's just the deep.
Yeah.
you
The
can
deep
you
web.
can find you can find some information without even having to go there. You can like because there's forums in which people go there,
Yeah.
get all the information,
bring it
post it
back.
there,
Yeah.
so you don't have to put your IP address out there and stuff.
Don't,
Like
so I use torrents.
you
Virtual
can,
PC.
even
virtual
even in
VPNs.
even with torrents, VPNs and stuff, they can still get that on the dark web.
I don't
the,
have anything on my computer remotely important.
That's
enough for
why I look
someone
at all
to
that
steal.
stuff from work. Using the work computers. They're like, why is Verizon looking at this stuff? But man,
Yeah, me too. I use work computers.
the dude, there's some fucking sketchy shit. All these weird programs the
Yeah.
FBI and the CIA are involved with, and all our fucking tax dollars.
I need to finish reading the Gateway documents.
That's some fucking
Is that
weird
that
shit
new
too.
report that they just
Yeah,
released?
it's been out
Dude,
for like
so
4
Trump,
or
one of the
5
good
months
things he
now?
did was he signed the Freedom of Information
Yeah.
Act, and he basically everything to do with all these like dark programs that he just said, within 180 days has to be declassified. There's like 20 days left.
Yeah.
So there's the next 20 days, all the good shit's about to be coming out. There's a lot of stuff that has come out, like the Gateway stuff, the UFO stuff.
Yeah.
I've been reading all of
Bro, I love extraterrestrial stuff.
that. Fact, I was like, aliens. Obviously, they exist on the other side of the universe.
Yeah.
Now after reading this shit, like they're fucking
No.
in Antarctica, they're
Yeah.
fucking in the Pentagon,
So-
and they're fucking kids with our president. There's some weird shit going on.
Me and my old roommate Rich, we've kind of there's like a common trend of somewhere with like dry areas, lots of desert, like UFOs like to be over. So Arizona's the hot spot. I used to live in Phoenix, and I can kid you not, like I would walk down the street like taking selfies. Like a young person taking selfies, and I would catch UFOs in my photos, like just hovering there, like, and you couldn't tell, like, it's circle. I'm like, I know this wasn't there. I remember going outside, looking in the sky, seeing like black orbs just sitting in the sky. Like Arizona's like
Damn, that's the hot
crazy.
zone.
It's a hot spot. But you can look up Black Canyon Delta Wing or Black Canyon Lights. It's like I think in like early 2000, like a bunch of lights flew over the Black Canyon
I think
Highway.
I've heard of that.
Yeah, they did a movie on it too. They did Phoenix Lights. There's a lot of stuff that always goes out there. Like I remember walking to the movie theater and saw like an orb the size of like a basketball, like in size, just go straight across the sky. I'm like, that's not a plane. I'm like, that doesn't move like that.
At first, the
fucking
like
weird.
logical side of me had always told myself like, obviously UFOs exist,
Yeah.
but it's just the government testing like secret aircraft and
Oh.
stuff for like next World War. But now that the government's unclassified documents and they're like, we don't know what it is, it's like, oh shit, and like just hundreds and hundreds of like CIA documents talking about all the different sightings, interviews with people who've seen it, and there's some weird stuff. But I found this thing called Majestic 12. Have you heard of it?
No.
Yes.
So it's like a secret group that apparently was the team involved with the UFO crash, and they're the ones who reverse engineered it.
At Rockwell?
I don't remember the location,
S4?
but I was looking at the list
No,
of
it was
people.
the place, yeah.
So I was looking at the Majestic 12 alleged members, right?
Okay.
So they all were in
Are
the
they
same
all still
group.
living?
No.
Oh,
But they all
convenient.
supposedly reverse engineered an alien crash.
Oh.
Let me tell you about the achievements of these like 12 people.
Okay.
Donald Menzel. He was one of the first theoretical astronomers and astrophysicists in the U.S., and he discovered the physical properties of the chromosphere, the chemistry of the stars, the atmosphere of Mars, and the nature of the gaseous nebula. One dude just figured all this
Jesus.
shit out. Someone else in the group, Lloyd Berkner. He was an American physicist and engineer. He was one of the inventors of the measuring device that has become standard at ionospheric stations because it measures the height and electronic density of the ionosphere. And he also developed the theory of shortwave radio propagation.
Big fucking words.
Someone else, Detlev Bronk. He is credited with establishing biophysics and was the president of the Rockefeller University and held the presidency of the National Academy of Science. Someone else in the group, let's see,
I can't even imagine. Being
he
that
led
smart.
I can't
the
even spell half these words.
he led the World War II Office of Scientific Research and Development. He developed the radar, and let's see.
Jesus.
Someone else, Robert Montague. He's Lieutenant General who is apparently running the whole thing. And then basically every single person in this group came up with like these life-changing inventions all at the exact same time about things that we could have never known.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, maybe they have some validity with the statement that
What did you hear about?
they fucking contacted some aliens.
Did you hear about them confirming Tesla being an alien?
I've seen
wanna
some
say
stuff about
confirm,
Tesla,
but-
but like the types of stuff in which he was studying and how he got the information was definitely not normal.
Okay, so have you seen it's a Netflix series called Bob Lazar?
No, but I know who Bob Lazar is,
Watch
and I've
it.
watched interviews with Bob Lazar.
Watch it.
and I'm very familiar with him.
So yeah, the interview that like
Y'all are way over my fucking.
Yeah.
I'm just over here sitting here listening.
There,
Like,
like,
oh,
I,
this is
like,
cool.
I go back.
Yeah.
I go back. Like, I always watch and listen to the video or podcast afterwards, and then just because like I'm like, oh shit, what we were talking about, and then I just go back and research. And like, there's stuff like a conspiracy one. There's stuff he was talking about that I'm like, oh, I haven't looked at this in so long. But Bob Lazar basically worked for S4. S4 is like another Area 51 that's in Nevada. He was so in 1989 he went on TV and he basically said like, hey, like he didn't say like I worked for S4, but he was like, hey, I did research on this and this, because when he was younger he was building basically like rocket engines, like attaching them to bikes, and like that was like he was known as a kid making rocket engines and like zooming down the street.
Badass.
Yeah.
Coolest kid on the
Save some
block.
pussy for the rest
So
of us.
he was basically like throwing out like, hey, there's this machine that like I'd have to put my hand in, like claws would come over, it would fucking like clamp down or detect, and people were like, oh no, you're bullshit. Fast forward like in the early like when the document came out like 2018, they're finding photos of these things he said in 1989, and he was like describing them to a T, and they were just like, you're lying. They're finding these and they're like, oh, that's real. He was like, yeah, that's it. He's like, that's what I had to do. But so basically, he has his own private shop in this little town, and his task was reverse engineering the engine of the UFOs that they would identify.
So like figure out how they worked.
Yeah, so he was like, so basically, he was helping reverse engineering the component, the element that they were using to use as propulsion for UFOs that were like moving through space. And how they described it is, think of think of your plane, like the universe, as a waterbed. Like you take so you have
You're like
your car's in
manipulating
here.
gravity, right?
Yeah, so he's like, you have your car here sitting here, and you take a bowling ball and you drop it in the middle. He's like, so that bowling ball pulls the car toward because there's gravity shifting down. He's like, and so this is how spaceships would work. It would like basically make that bowling ball in front of the spaceship and propulsion it
So
forward.
yeah. So basically, because they can manipulate gravity, although they're moving faster, they're not affected by the speeds you'd normally be affected by. So like
That's
aircraft can travel extremely fast
drinking this
speeds without being affected by those speeds because the gravity
Peppermint
around them is moving slower, and they're making the gravity like pull them. It's like as if they're falling.
So yeah, so he
Clearly,
left.
I'm the only one in this room that needs BSEP.
So he left.
come
He
you know
left.
about
He
aliens,
left
fucking
S4.
retard?
He left S4, and supposedly he may have taken the element. I forget what the name of the element is because he used to say
2, 3. Let's see.
It is like 2, 3,
2, 3, 7, 14.
Like
X.
Bob Lazar, whatever. But
So stolen element.
Element
Yeah.
115.
yes.
Yes.
So basically, element 115 is like they have to take this copper plate and they have to cut it a certain way, like the dimensions, everything. They have to cut it a certain way for it to function the way it needs to function. If it's like off by like a millimeter, it's not going to work.
Even in the
Jesus.
CIA's declassified documents, they talk about elements that are not of this world that they've discovered at supposed
Do you know-
UFO crash sites.
Do you know that they have a lot of alchemic elements patented? So like alchemic, so they were like, oh, alchemy is like such old, so ancient stuff, but it's like, no, they like people have made it and patent those like
Yeah.
elements because
Isn't that where you just like throw fucking sand and fire together and get glass?
Yeah.
Basically.
Okay.
Yeah, so they do that. But so Bob Lazar's biggest thing was he was like, yeah, like periodically every like couple of years, like the biggest thing he would have like 20 different agencies raid his building, and like they'd come in there, he'd let them go do their thing, whatever.
If
blah,
you
blah,
come
blah,
up with
FBI,
anything
CIA,
that's too good,
DEA.
you best believe the government will take
So-
all of it, kill you, and frame you for a crime you didn't commit.
But they would literally tell him, they were like he's like, what are y'all looking for? And they're not giving him a straight answer. We're like, yeah, you failed to file these taxes back in 2019.
likely
stating
story.
this. And he was like, I can literally print that off my computer and give that to you. He was like, I can literally give you my
Jesus.
computer and you can look yourself. And they're like, nah. But the crazy thing, he was like, why is the FBI, CIA,
Yeah,
DEA,
exactly.
like NSA, like why are all of you here searching for that?
They
Like,
all
you're-
want a piece of
because
the
they
pie.
because they think he left with element, was it 114?
115, yeah.
115, and they're looking for it. They think he has research on it. You can watch. It's on Netflix. It's
Damn.
Bob Lazar. It's a really good documentary. I was like, bro, I need to know this.
So the government can lose this rare fucking alien element and like keep it hush hush. But like if Fort Bragg loses one M4, it's like fucking lockdown and
Bro.
everyone
You
knows.
know what's weird? So we haven't been to the moon in like 60 years, right?
We were told to get the fuck off.
The official statement why we haven't been back to the moon is
Yeah.
because we've lost the way to get there. Like we don't have the materials to get back there.
Can you just,
They're
like,
like, we
look
don't
at
know how to get there anymore.
I see it.
They're telling me that using less computing power than my cell phone to get there on the first moon mission, and now, with all the technology we have now, we aren't able to. Something's a little bit sketch, right? Either A, we never fucking went there in the first place, and now that there's too much transparency in the world, they know they can't get away with it anymore. Or B, you know, they're losing some shit.
We got
or,
shit up
or maybe they are going there and they just don't want people to
This
know.
is not the move.
I
But
was wondering.
Peppermint patch.
they're so not transparent. There's a place called Devon Island in Canada.
Yeah.
Um,
I've heard about this place actually.
This is a place that
There's
if
one of
you
my
look
YouTube
at
dark holes.
in Google Earth, you can see like there's a bunch of NASA vehicles there that say like Mars 1. The geography looks exactly like Mars. NASA's like it's the most similar to Mars ever. They've got like rovers
What
there
is
and
this?
stuff. Devon Island.
Devon Island.
Some people think they're training for Mars. Some people think they're just propagating the whole thing, and that's where they film the fake
Yeah.
Mars. But it is interesting. Like, how are we sending drones to Mars, but we can't send people to the moon?
True.
So there's a place called the Van Allen radiation belts. are a belt of radiation that revolve around Earth that protect us from a lot of
UV
space
rays,
projectile
yeah.
and UV rays and stuff. Supposedly, if a human is subjected to it for too long, it's like give them cancer and stuff, and kill them.
Superpowers?
And so, like, some of the there was like a meeting with all the moon mission people on one of the moon missions, where people got to ask questions, and someone was like, "Well, how did y'all get through the Van Allen belts? Like, what did that affect you?" And one of them were like, I don't think we went through the Van Allen belts. They're like, the Van Allen belts are only 10,000 miles above the Earth. They're like, well, then we definitely went through. But I think we're fine. So
Yeah.
I don't. They don't even fucking know.
It's all good.
They're like, there's lots of sketchy stuff. Like,
I was always...
no matter what happened, we know for a fact we're being lied to somehow for some reason.
It's hard for me, like, now with... Not saying the information, like, everyone has an opinion, everyone puts out information. It's hard for me to believe, like, 90% of the shit that comes out of people's mouth. Like, even what I read now, like,
Yeah.
it's so hard now because I'm just like, there's, like, people are like, oh, this is happening. I'm like, well, you're just fear-mongering now. And you're like, I know they probably are not intentionally doing it, but I'm like, your opinion is fear-mongering, your opinion could possibly be disinformation, your opinion could be confusing a lot of people at the same time, that it's hard for me to be like, from a logical standpoint, based on information I get, to agree, even sometimes on my own opinion.
For, like, conspiracy theories, you'll see, like, 100 out there.
Yeah.
For a fact, 5 or 6 of them are true, and the rest are false.
Yeah.
And you have
Yeah.
no way to discern which one's
one?
true, which one's
'Cause
false.
everyone
so
has an
it
opinion.
sucks because you go and
True.
search for information, and most of it's false. Some of it's actually true, and you just won't know
don't
that.
That's like
no
the
idea.
Majestic 12 on Hulu. Like, how you were saying, it's like, a lot of that stuff they plug in there is disinformation intentionally. But, like, you look at that stuff and, like, with information you do know, you're like, okay, that sounds valid. Like, that sounds true. But I do think the moon thing, I think we went there, we got there, and we met someone who was like, do not come back.
Get the fuck off my
Like,
planet.
don't come back. Like, get the fuck off. And I can see that. I can see us meeting an extraterrestrial or whoever and being
Y'all
like...
remember when Obama bombed the moon to see if there was water?
No. What
No.
the fuck?
You don't remember that? When they sent a
No.
missile to the moon to see if there was water, and it hit the moon, and they found that there was water.
Oh,
underneath
yeah,
the
and they said
surface?
it hummed.
Yeah.
It said it hummed like a bell.
No.
I don't know.
So
I went to
saying
go
it
because
was
I
hollow.
remember like everything in school when this happened, and I went to like go research this, and I can't like really find much information. Like I don't fucking know
What
why.
year was this?
It was
Give
like
or take?
2008, maybe
I don't
2009.
know. Probably.
Um,
No.
I just remember like they're like we found that there is water underneath the surface of the moon, and then that was like it, you know.
Cool.
But there was like this huge thing, like why are we spending all this money to send a missile to the moon?
Cause I remember my buddy Richard talking about that. He said we sent a rocket, it hit, and it hummed for like a couple hours, like a bell.
Hell
It
of
was
a headache.
Like boom.
What the fuck?
But like, what's also crazy about it too is that our moon is the only satellite that doesn't rotate. We have a dark side
It
of the
is
moon.
weird,
and
yeah,
It's like how everything else functions in the universe. Like all the other planets rotate, all the other satellites rotate.
It just
but
faces
ours
the same
doesn't.
way. Yeah,
It doesn't, and that's where
it's got something to do with magnets and stuff, and that's how it affects the tides as well, because it messes with our magnetic poles and
Yeah.
everything. I feel like that has something to do with it in a simplistic scientific
But like, even if you put
explanation.
if you equate that to the scenario of like that's a 1 in a trillion chance, like that's really specific. Like, hey, out of all these other universes, like ours, no. I'm like, okay, like I can't explain it.
There's a lot of
Why don't we
sketchy
just go
stuff
drill?
going on in Antarctica as well. I don't know if you've looked into that.
I've seen some shit with Antarctica, but
Yeah,
I think it'd be cool to go.
I would love
like
to
all
do-
these
I would
things where
love to
there's
do
like
that.
sketchy shit. Like I just want to go see it in person. Like
Yeah.
Egypt, I want to go explore these pyramids in
I
person.
don't know if I want to go to Egypt so much.
You gotta go into the Sphinx.
The
That's-
Sphinx as well. Yeah.
that's where.
I want to go to
lot
the
of-
city of Petra.
I just don't fuck with voodoo and like like Egypt's fucking known for that shit. You go into the one
So,
fucking wrong room and you're gonna get poisoned
If
for the
you
rest
if
of
you
your
want
life.
like a very short read the Emerald Tablets.
It's good because I can't read that long.
Yeah, it's probably like 48 pages or something. Maybe.
You
Maybe-
say
Are there pictures?
Nah, there's no picture.
Fuck.
But the Emerald Tablets has so like if you read it in sections, like I would say read because it's like Emerald Tablet 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way to 13. I would read the first tablet, sit back and be like, okay, what are they talking
Think about it.
Yeah, because I had to do that, and I would go really, really slow. I'm like on the 4th tablet, and I was like, all right, what are you talking about? And it talks about ancient Egypt before it was Egypt. And like, kind of the thing was like, Egyptians are squatters. Like, the technology and stuff that was already, it was there before them. Because that's what Thoth was talking about. Like, hey, this is my, like, civilization. I forget the name he calls it, but it seems like they migrated there and squatted there. And they became the Egyptians based off that technology.
Yep. The pyramid too follows the same blueprint Tesla has for wireless energy, and
I have seen
it actually emits electromagnetic energy like
Same
right
thing
now
with
still.
What are those? The fucking
Obelisks.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
obelisks. Yeah.
There's so much like symbolism and stuff that sort of like paints a little clearer picture of what's actually being told to you. Like if you look at the Vatican, and
That place is fucking amazing.
sketch as shit too.
My parents went there and told me all sorts of stories.
The Vatican Library and all the shit
Yeah.
it's hiding, the pine cones, and what those represent, and how it just is ignored
I
in
think that shit's
Catholic.
cool.
It's super
pineal
crazy.
gland.
Yeah,
and like I said, like I went to a Catholic school, so like
you've got an in.
a lot of that.
You need to go find this shit out
that,
for us.
and then my family's humongous. Like my grandfather was a Grandmaster of the Freemasons,
Ooh.
so like that shit.
you know what like
there's
degree he was?
No, I don't remember at this point.
Because they're
He
like
was- I know he's
32nd degree is like top, and
Top,
there's like a
top.
secret 33rd degree, and that's when you
He
fucking
was a
find everything out.
Grandmaster in the regional lodge. That's all I know.
You
So,
probably knew some shit.
a big fucking There's still to this day a lockbox in my name, but I'm not allowed to open it until I'm get the key from the Masons themselves.
Interesting.
I know it sounds cool as shit, but
It's also
I've never
sketch,
fucking-
dude.
I
All
know.
these fucking secret societies and
Yep.
all the shit they're hiding, and that's literally, if you look at all of like the major world leaders and stuff, they all come from these super secretive groups run by the same families
Yep.
that
That's
are
why
all
it's-
involved with this
My
secret
grandma
shit.
was the same level, just in the Eastern Stars.
That's why it's so crazy for me to think like vampires, werewolves,
Yeah.
like, all these supernatural stuff. I'm like, why? Like, there's normal everyday secret societies in our world. Like, why wouldn't there be a whole underlining of stuff that I just don't know about? Like, that's just not being like, yeah, I'm probably one of my best friends a vampire and I don't even fucking know it.
yeah.
Like,
The,
he just never tells me because he's like, I can't tell you.
Yeah, there's some sketch shit, and it's just so fun to go and search for it, but it scares me at the same time.
Yeah,
It
exactly.
sucks because
So
I'll
you
be
don't wanna
staying
dig.
up too late looking into it.
So-
It'll be like 3 a.m. and I'm like, fuck, I just seen the scariest shit, and now I can't sleep.
So I watched.
Go grab the clock.
So I was watching a TikTok. It was last night actually too, and I was in bed. It was like 1:00 in the morning, and she was like, "So if you want to communicate with shadow," she's like, "Never talk to shadow people."
Fuck
and
no.
she just draws a sign and does everything. She's like,
fuck.
and tells
Hell
you the
no.
steps. She was like, "This is how you communicate with
See?
shadow people."
That's
and
that
I was just
voodoo
like,
shit I don't fuck
I was
with.
just like,
Okay, so shadow people, fucking get the fuck away, bud.
Yeah.
I've seen shadow people before as a
Yeah.
kid, and 2 separate instances. So I know for a fact, shadow people are fucking real, and I fucking rebuke all of that shit.
Nope, can't do
And
it.
that's why, like, if I see anything on the internet talking about it, I stay away from it. Just
'Cause they-
because
'cause they- 'cause
I
they
have
get them planted in your brain.
encountered this, and it was the scariest moment of my life. Because I fucking, in
Fucking
my
shadow
house,
people, dude.
there was a fucking 7-foot tall shadow person
Jesus.
that locked eyes with me, and the fear I felt, like, it was, I could feel it communicating fear to me through its eyes, and it literally was like, because my dad
I
was
keep
in the
on-
room facing the opposite way,
yeah.
and fuck, like
I
that was
keep on-
so horrifying.
I try to tell myself that, like, yo, if you get in a situation where it's fight or flight, like, if someone tries to, like, impose that fear dominance on you, fight. I try.
Fact.
I tell myself that, but I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to react in that situation.
No matter
But
what-
I try to program myself that way.
No matter what, fear is the enemy, because whether or not you can do anything about it, if you are not scared, you at least have one leg up to then if you were scared.
Yes.
So just keep fear away and always feel as if you can do something.
Yes.
Because you don't know if it can basically
That's
attach
because-
onto your fear.
That's because I always look at it as because I've been trying to astral project for so long now. So long.
that mean?
Oh, so that's what he's talking about. The gateway.
You're trying to
gateway
talk to
experiments.
fucking dead
The
people?
Gateway Experiments
No.
is an experiment released by the CIA, and they literally have a step-by-step thing where they've like gotten people to basically see. It's like a dream, but controlled.
One of them
and,
lucid shits?
Yes.
but while you're like controlling it from an awake sort of, there's like a step-by-step base, and they've been able to like travel to Mars through lucid
So
dreaming and like
have you
thousands of years ago.
have you seen the movie The Men Who Stare at Goats?
Maybe
With
bits and
fucking
pieces.
George Clooney?
Yeah, I've heard about
So
it and shit.
that's partially what the Gateway Experience is based off of.
Speaking of, there's a guy called. I was waiting for you to bring it back up so I could bring this up. A guy who worked for the CIA called William Francis Buckley.
Okay.
He was.
Oh, Buckadiah.
Yeah.
This guy was. I believe this was one of the guys who helped figure all this shit out. Right.
Okay.
He was a part of the Special Activities Division in the CIA, which
Yeah,
is
that
like
sounds made up as fuck.
It's like their secret group
Yeah.
in the CIA.
Jesus.
Well, so he was captured and held hostage by a psychiatrist called Aziz Al-Abub, who was a Lebanese psychiatrist, and they tortured him for 444 days
What
to
the
get
fuck?
the information he found out about that.
What a man.
So they tortured him for 444 days to try and get all this information from him about what he knew about this astral projecting and stuff. It was very much taken seriously. So they tortured him for over a year until they killed
a year
him.
straight.
And it was a psychiatrist who tortured him because they wanted that information
Yeah.
badly.
That's gnarly as fuck.
Like some sketchy shit. The
I feel like if you're gonna fucking torture someone, like if you're gonna torture someone for over a year, you can't be like fucking pulling fingernails and teeth. Like you're doing psychological shit.
and that's
like,
what it was.
sleep deprivation and fucking all that shit.
So sort of leading on to how we know that some of these are true.
Yeah.
Do y'all know who Milton Cooper is?
That sounds really familiar too.
You've probably heard of his story.
Mm-hmm.
He died in 2001. He was an American conspiracy theorist who also had a radio broadcast. And he's an author of a book called Behold a Pale Horse. He warned of global conspiracies, some involving extraterrestrial life. He described HIV and AIDS as a man-made disease that targeted blacks, Hispanics, and homosexuals. And then, let's see. Basically, he said he moved away from UFOlogy community and towards the militia and anti-government subculture in the late 90s. He became convinced that he was being personally targeted by Bill Clinton and the IRS. And in 1998, he was charged with tax evasion. An arrest warrant was issued. He eluded Repeat's attempt to serve it. In 2000, he was named a major fugitive by the U.S. Marshals Service. In 2001, the sheriff's deputies of Apache County attempted to arrest him on home charges of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon and endangerment stemming from disputes with local residents. After an exchange of gunfire,
Damn.
during which Cooper shot one of the deputies in the head, Cooper was fatally shot
At least he went out balls flying.
because he had said he would not be taken alive.
Hey, guns ablazing.
Wasn't that being broadcasted on the news too during that time?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm when news actually used to be news.
Yeah, the real shit.
Bruh.
Right?
Before everyone got fucking sensitive, you can't see people get
Uh,
domed.
Cool piece of information that nobody talks about. A place called Göbekli Tepe. Have y'all heard of it?
I've actually just heard about it recently off of TikTok.
Nope.
So this is a location in which got unearthed a few years back that predates the oldest known ancient civilization and sort of proves all of history wrong because it's in a period in which the climate was some of the most deadly climates known to man. It was before humans became advanced,
Okay.
according to history.
Yeah.
This was like
Is this dino fucking times?
somewhat.
Ooh.
It was like 20,000 years ago is
Okay.
where this is dated back to. Oldest known civilization before this was the Sumerians, which was like
But the
9.
Earth's only 2,021 years old.
That's true. Good point. But yeah, basically this predates all known ancient civilizations, and they've got fucking advanced architecture, hieroglyphs, language, art, and everything. Thousands of years before we thought humans were even like advanced.
Where is it?
Let's see.
Give or
It's
take.
in Turkey.
Sounds like the Middle East.
Mm-hmm. Everything's
Yeah.
there, dude.
Pangea. That's why.
You guys don't know about Pangea?
That's fucking why. 'Cause everybody lived in the Middle fucking East.
The you know who's sketch and what's resultant in a lot of the fucking lies taught to you? The Smithsonian.
That I
and
went
the
to a
government.
Catholic high school.
Like, because the government has a Smithsonian, right?
Sure.
They run all the national museums. They
Yeah.
basically control what history is taught to everyone. Well, so
They're still cool as fuck.
they they have some cool stuff. But they've been basically known to take a lot of stuff provided to them, throw it in their basements, and keep it hidden
Just
from
fucking
public
hide it.
sight because it goes against what they're trying to teach you.
Well, in SLU, my parents went to Sunwest University, and it being a Catholic school too, like kind of like the Harry Potter movies where they have like the off limits fucking library and shit. So SLU has a part of their library that has off limits and it's under lock and key.
Mm-hmm.
Well, one of the known books, at least one of them, is the fucking what's that shit called when you like somebody's possessed and then you fucking
Exorcism?
Yeah, of that Emily Rose girl that they made the movie on.
So
The
my
known shit is in
my
there.
sister did a missions trip to Ethiopia.
That sounds.
She was
miserable.
there for a year.
Why would you do that?
And
Fucking missions
she had told
trip.
me, I believe she told me, she had witnessed exorcisms in person.
Yeah, see, fuck that noise.
Like, real as shit.
Yeah,
Like,
climbing
where
on fucking walls and
children
shit? No.
or little women have so much power and, like, weird growly voices of languages that don't exist.
Yeah.
Overpowering over 12 grown men that are trying to hold down a child
Nope.
as someone's performing an exorcism. Like, she witnessed this shit. Like, there's so much shit going on out there that, like, it's just hidden from you.
A 9mm will stop that.
There was a, I
And
believe it
it's
was, Nigeria, a church. The police went and massacred 1,000 people in a church, killed every single person there. There's like 750 people.
Damn.
It was a church in which they said they were hiding the Ark of the Covenant.
Oh yeah.
The Nigerian military and police went there and killed everyone.
Damn. Did
Nobody.
they find it?
That was literally a month ago,
Oh, real?
Wow.
and no news, no major news reported this. Know what they reported?
Monomar.
Oh, more mask mandates. More
Yeah.
mask mandates.
3 masks and shit like that.
Fucking
man.
Biden's like, I have a plan to combat COVID, and he gets elected. And he's like, there is nothing we can do about COVID.
COVID is screwed.
He's also like, if you elect me, $2,000 stimulus checks guaranteed. Now we're like, $1,400 is the
Yeah.
same thing as $2,000, and it might not even happen. Also, a majority of the money that you're trying to, it's so fucking cheap of them because they're like, the only way to get $1,400 stimulus checks is if you approve this package in which 80% of it doesn't even fucking go to you. It goes to all these other people that's going to make us more powerful. It's like, well, we want the money, but we don't want you to get fucking ultimate power with all these fucking weird groups you're paying in China and Ukraine.
Yeah.
Like, why we want China to have more hands-on? Well, they pay me, so fuck the rest of the country. Like, the people that we've allowed into our government hate what America stands for, and they're in it for themselves.
Money.
Yes.
I am just
Almighty
praying I go
dollar.
to Monomar. Be like free reign.
I don't know. I think we need some sort of a corrective state, like a real COVID-19, not what this is, or like
what's
a
that-
World
the
War
purge.
III.
We need a purge.
Purge,
Where
yeah.
it's legal to just fucking shoot whoever you want. 'Cause,
Unlike Purge, I don't want it to be an annual thing. I just want one.
this is not a threat by any legal. But UC Berkeley, #1 spot, man. There's so many fucking weirdos there. Oh my.
Yeah.
Oh my gay, literally.
My God.
Fucking weirdos.
There's just so much fucking dirty, sketchy shit, and we're all being used for money, and everybody just loves it. They love it.
Yeah.
And they'll yell at you for not loving it. Like, I know we all have friends and family who you try and, like, tell them something, like, a little truth-wise. Like, hey, you know, you voted for this, or this is this, and this is dumb, or this is actually what's happening. And they, like, rebuke you. They're like, how dare you? Like, why are you going crazy? Like, what's your problem? You don't think black people matter?
That's my
What the
favorite.
fuck?
That's
Like,
my favorite one.
Nobody doesn't, like, you be fucking rare to find someone who actually doesn't think Black Lives Matter. That's not the whole fucking premise of disagreeing with the group.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, if you don't agree with this group, you must hate
Yeah,
black
you're
people.
automatically
Like,
racist.
even
Last
I
time I
might.
checked, just because you named your group Black Lives doesn't mean it stands for every fucking black live out there.
Ironically, though.
Black.
That's like I should say, well, human lives matter, so if you like humans, you have to pay me.
I understand the movement. I don't agree with the organization.
So that's the thing, is they,
Yes.
they use the organization and the purpose to sort of,
And it's the
Get
age old
power.
saying. It's the age old saying. Like someone's behind the scenes manipulate. Like
it's
every
like
organization was-
anti-Semitism.
If every organization was built with a purpose, and then someone came along and used it to their benefit.
Right,
So
because
there's genuinely people who are there like Black BLM, like Black Lives Matters, and genuinely that's their cause. And then like even the whole riot thing's like, well, there's other people who are using that title.
that's why you got to be careful not to
Right.
like. Although the group stands for something that's good, you can't give the group power because
Yeah.
of what they're doing.
Yeah.
It's the same thing like with how certain Jewish people use anti-Semitism to their benefit. They're like, well, now because I'm Jewish,
Yeah.
I've got like this get out of jail free card, and
All right,
anybody
what's-
who says
what-
otherwise is anti-Semitic.
For my ignorance sakes, what are the races of Jewish people? Because I know Jewish is a religion.
So
Like,
it's an ethnicity and it's a religion. So you can be Jewish and not Jewish, but you can also be Jewish and Jewish.
that's weird.
Because there's like
Like
you're
blood or
born.
something?
It's like say
You're born in.
there's the
fucking
Jewish
born
religion
blood.
and where they
Jerusalem.
like, follow Jewish beliefs. But if you're born and your parents are Jewish and you don't believe in that, you're still like a Jew, but you're not Jewish in your belief system.
You're white,
So where are
but
Jews-
you're not
where are
whitish.
Jews from
Jerusalem,
Jerusalem. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I figured
the Holy Land,
The chosen
Okay.
people.
the Holy
They're
Land.
not.
No.
I'm
But the way I look at like all the race things too is
Black
that, like
people.
there's a fucking like there's literally a TV network that's what Black TV. What is it called? Fucking what the fuck
I
is
haven't
it?
watched it in so long.
BT.
BET.
Yeah,
Black
black people,
Entertainment
black
Channel.
entertainment.
It is interesting.
Like, what the
in
fuck? We
The
can't have a wet-
disproportionate like support one race gets over
Yeah.
the other in the name of
Black people don't be
anti-racism.
at Black BET anyway.
Because like it's like yeah, you've got a good reason for it, but you have to look at like what you're doing to other people, and like when you only support one group of people, you have to make sure you're not like fucking not allowing anyone else to have
Yeah.
support.
So I was
like
like,
White,
black
black, or
colleges
white, black,
is
or
a thing,
purple.
but,
all
like-
black or all fucking all purple people. White people suck.
it's
so-
just like be careful if you associate yourself with a group.
yeah. So I was always looking at it as I was talking to my buddies. I was like, so I'm like, where does all the hate come for black people? Like I literally thought about it. I was like, what did we do to
See,
have
that's
so
the
much
thing.
aggression?
It's
towards our race?
mischaracterized as hate because it's people hate, but it's not that they hate black people.
Yes.
they hate what's going on with black people and why it's going
But
on.
I'm saying like,
and
I
so
look at
people
it
are like, well, you must
well,
hate black people.
Yeah, but I'm like, what? Where did this aggression?
Growing
Like,
up, that wasn't
where
a
did
thing.
it come from?
It's
Like, where
being
did it come
fed
from?
to us.
Yes,
There's literally
In the last few years.
No, it's been like since the
you're
beginning.
told hate black people, and someone else is like, don't hate black people, or black people are better than you. What they're doing is they're trying to incite the hate.
But it's
because
even,
if
like-
there's discourse, you have someone to look to.
But it's even
Mommy
even,
and daddy government.
It's
Please help
even,
me.
Even at like savory levels, like, all right, they're savages, they're this, they're that, they're that. It's like, but like, where's this animosity coming
Yeah.
from? Like, where, like what happened to you? Be like, yo, they're dark skinned. Fuck them niggas. Like, where did that happen?
Probably
like,
a
what goes-
long,
so-
long time ago,
No, no,
a
no.
black guy slept with a white guy's wife.
It's-
And
You know
just
what?
From there,
I can
bam.
you know what? I can. That's probably about
Not
Many,
the
many
case at
moons
all.
ago.
What it is you can see where everything goes wrong within the last 200 years, and it's all cultural too, because this whole like black-white thing, it's not the case if you go down to Mexico. Like it's an American thing,
It is.
or a United States thing. If you go to China, it's a Chinese not Chinese thing.
Chinese
Racist
and Muslims.
fucks.
Chinese and Muslims.
Right. Did you see in
Yes.
Joe Biden's town hall where he was praising the treatment of the Uyghur Muslims
Yeah.
in China,
And how
where
they're
there's like
actually
1.5
being
million of them?
annihilated.
They get tortured and killed there because
Yep.
they're Muslims.
Yep.
And Joe Biden's like, well, I can see why he does it, and I support that because he has a certain view of how Chinese people should be, not Muslim. And
Go to their reform
and they
camps.
they literally send them to camps that called re-education camps.
Yeah.
They'll strip kids from their parents and brainwash them to be exactly how the Chinese version of perfection is.
100%.
They'll fucking torture parents until they become what they want them to
Give
be.
up their
change
religion.
their religion, or they'll kill them. And I was like, oh yeah, no.
Only
Xi
people in this
Jinping's a
world
good
that I
guy.
hate
I like that.
are trans people. I fucking hate them, dude. Like,
So,
I
no,
hate them.
This is my thing with trans people.
I hate them.
Is my view. This is my opinion. in my educated opinion, in some sense.
It is a mental disability.
Yeah, so it's something called gender dysphoria, right?
It's not a thing.
And that's where someone, for some reason, thinks that they should be the other gender, and what they need is a little bit of help,
It's
right?
called mental retardation.
So, right, it's unfortunately, people are praising people who are a little bit messed up in the head to make decisions that are bad for them.
Yeah.
And so, because they get praised, they think that they have to, and then they get in this depressive state because they change their whole life around because society tells them, yes, please, that's
It's
for
cool.
your benefit.
What I want the documentary of someone going through a transition, and then doing the documentary talking about like, yo, this was the worst mistake of my life.
They
Yeah.
have those because
I want those.
Yeah.
people who go through sex change, is like 87% of the time,
Fucked up.
regret it.
Yeah. No shit.
The
You're cutting off your cock. I love my dick.
Therefore, putting one on.
Yeah.
The,
Well, that one wouldn't be bad, but I love having a dick. I
I
can stand when I piss. Are you kidding me? I can put it in holes.
nobody realizes because they're all like, we have to support everyone. We have to support everyone. There is a time where no is okay to
Yeah.
say, and you're actually helping people.
I agree.
You need to have some line where you say no to things.
You know
you
why?
can't just say yes to everything.
You know where it came from?
That's why
Participation awards.
Oh,
Because these
man.
fucking kids are
We-
going
oh,
up
yes.
man,
getting
don't get me
fucking
started with the fucking
participation
participation
awards.
awards, man.
Oh my
I fucking
fuck.
hate that.
I do too.
hate it.
If you get second place, anybody that ever fucking listens, if you come in second place, congratulations, you still fucking lost.
You're the first loser.
Yes, you are not in first place. You did not fucking win. Silver is not better than
You know
gold.
where it started?
I fucking hate
Air
it.
conditioning.
It started in
People
fucking
started to get a
T-ball.
little bit too comfortable, right?
I remember,
First it started with AC,
God.
then it started with heat, and
remember,
then
like-
everybody's like, well, let's get nice comforters,
Yeah.
massage chairs. Then everybody just needed whatever felt
I
good.
think I'm gonna be a bully to my kid when I have
Oh,
a kid. I'm like, he
absolutely.
gonna get a participant. Like,
Fuck
I'm
no.
like, hell no. Well, you're a fucking loser.
And
You
it-
can keep
by the
one,
time
and
you
it's
have
to
kids,
remind you
that's
that
gonna
you
be
lost.
illegal. They're going to tell you how you have to parent.
Fuck
They're going to be
yeah.
like, you have to tell your kids about trans rights, or else
Uh-huh.
we'll take your kid away. And they're like, okay, well then
Okay.
I'll take your fucking life away. And they're like, well, because you said that, that's 5 to 10 years.
Unless my kid's a trans, then they can take it. All right, give it back.
It's crazy because the military's like, we're going to kick you out because you have mental related issues. But we're going
Trans
to accept
people's
trans
allowed.
people, where their entire life is dealing with mental issues.
And it's already
because
been
they are
declared
trying
that
to
it's a
figure out
mental
who
disability.
they are.
Ugh.
But we want them to serve in the military. But one person over here who's like, man, I'm a little bit fucked up in the head. They're like, get the fuck
Hey,
out of
that's
here.
like- that's like
Unless you're
them-
trans, please come back.
Catch
That's
all
like
them cocks in their mouth.
Publicity stunt.
That's like they're just letting.
You guys remember that thing? Catch all them cocks in their mouth?
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck that thing.
Oof. It's still there?
I don't know what happened to it. It either left Bragg or like left the army and became probably a motivational speaker
Buckley
like
was like.
Chelsea Manning.
It was like a unicorn to Buckley.
I can't wait. I need an
It was a
episode.
unicorn. They were like, catch him!
Catch all them balls.
I need Buckley on an episode.
Oh my god.
Where's Buckley?
He's going to JRTC. I invited him tonight.
Yeah.
He said he was going to come, but he's like, but I'm on the way to JRTC.
Oh, damn, it sucks.
Yeah, all Vaco is.
Bruh.
Yeah, fucking nerds. And Valenza.
I thought they were doing like a convoy
Yes.
to like Charlotte and turning around.
That's what we did like a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
That was the fucking most awful shit. Like
How long?
how
was
the
it?
army sets things up. Like if your plan, being on a fucking IRB, right? Like your whole fucking job is to like deploy rapidly. These fucking cocksuckers thought it would be a good idea to try to convoy 150 trucks down to Charleston and then make it back. And like it ended up sort of working, but they followed up with, by the way, we understand that you guys have the oldest vehicles in the entire army. So we're really proud that like whatever the percentage made it there and back. And they're like, we're really proud that this percentage made it there and back. Like at some point, don't you think like maybe that's the issue, is that we should probably upgrade equipment?
Like you see,
To be a fighting
you
force.
see a problem, and you're
Mhm.
like, you know what?
That's
We'll
like sending-
identify the
they're like-
problem.
Yeah.
So there's a mission where we have two groups of people. This group of people, only 5% will die
Yeah.
in our estimates. This
Yeah.
group of people, 80% will die. They send the 80%.
The 80%.
And then they're like, 50% of you came back, and we're
Beat our
really
odds.
proud. That's
Yeah.
just crazy. We love to see that kind of stuff
Hey,
happen.
you got
Like-
some war fighters.
Yeah,
Great on the
cool,
leaders.
great. But why the fuck didn't you send the group with a better chance?
Yeah.
Like, well, we just like to test everyone.
Because
you know?
we're numbers. We don't care
Yeah,
about
fact.
that.
Man, I've always hated the number game.
I'm not
man.
giving a fuck about.
The number game is what kept me from progressing and like actually getting real experience in schools
Yeah,
and
100%.
becoming a lethal soldier. Because more important than having lethal soldiers is having soldiers in which make your paper report to your boss look good. Because who really cares about success in war when you can get a gold star?
You're
Your
not a real
participation
infantryman
award.
Isn't
until
that
you
kinda
get a
like
ranger
all the
tab.
awards, man, like participation awards.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
Like, getting fucking AAMs at this point in my career just pisses me off. Because A, I gotta buy more dumb shit, and B, it's a participation award.
really, I
don't
really
give a fuck.
I really disagree with giving out awards in garrison. Like,
Yeah.
like, why?
I got
You
my
didn't
first good conduct
actually
medal
do
back.
anything.
Like, after
Like-
being in the Army for 7 years, I got one good conduct medal. After
Even if
getting
you
a
did,
DUI.
right? Like, you need awards for something you did in garrison. Like, you're a military.
You made it 3 years without fucking up. Here's your ribbon.
Yup.
The
Thanks.
yeah, it's all dumb. The and then your participation awards, that you get from deployment.
Yep.
They're like, you were there.
Here's your campaign medal.
Yeah.
Now you can go get your cool hat and talk about it at the VSW.
The
God, I fucking hate vets.
uh,
I hate vets.
so I'm like, I sell phones all the time, and I deal with people in the military and out of the military, and most of the time, they'll talk about it, and I just won't even say that I was in, and I
Yeah.
just go along. I like to see how they treat civilians, knowing that I know more than them. And I shit you not, this one guy came to me, and he was a retired sergeant major who was an 88 Mike,
Oh, cool.
and he came to me, and
Oh,
he's
cool
like,
fucking truck driver.
first off, he starts off by just saying, I don't know, like 3 minutes
Address
into
me by
fucking
my
selling him a
rank.
phone, and he's telling me, you have no idea what it's like. That the things that us veterans have to go through. I'm like, I really don't.
Please, Sergeant Major. Let me
Continue
go.
I tell him, I'm like, I could never imagine what you guys have to go through.
From
And he's-
NCO to
and-
NCO.
And he's like, you really can't. This fucking 88 Mike bitch, like, pogue ass
Did you drop the
motherfucker.
bomb on him at some
Please,
point?
I hope at the end.
Please.
Not once.
I would have.
Man.
I let him do his thing.
Man.
Did he go by hi, my name Sergeant Major XYZ?
It took me so hard not to start laughing when he's like, I want you to read this. It was a post someone else wrote on Facebook. He reposted, and he wanted me to read it to just
Validate.
it explains what military veterans have to go through.
I love that.
And it's like, people don't understand what veterans have to go through. They have to leave their family for months at a time, possibly endangering themselves. Blah 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 blah. Like, motherfucker. Like, and I'm like, oh my goodness, that sounds so hard. And he's like, and you'll never know. And I'm like, oh okay, motherfucker. Like, you want a fucking cookie? And he's like, it's just something I have to deal with every day. And
Yeah,
I'm like,
it's
man,
so
that
tough.
sounds rough. I mean, I'm like, how do you do it? He's like,
Bro, you're better than me.
You're an asshole,
You're
just feeding
way
into
better
it.
than me.
it went on for like fucking 10 minutes of him fucking like telling me I'm never going to make it in
Yeah.
life. He's so much better than me, and nobody will ever understand everything he's going through. And I don't know. I let him have
Did
it.
you tell him you're pulling the same disability he is?
I said, obviously he needs that affirmation that he's better than
To
me.
feel better.
Bro, you
So-
need to shit on people that you're out.
you're way too nice.
I
I'm an
fucking-
asshole.
I got
no,
my
you know what?
fucking
Because you
humor
want a
out of it.
commission, that's why.
Yeah.
If he doesn't buy something, I don't make money.
Yeah, that's fair.
Occasionally, though, the times where I don't care if I make money is when there's certain fucking assholes that come in there that just, like, you gotta be an asshole back. Like, I don't care, as a real person, if you want to give me enough shit, you're not getting to get away with not getting shit back. Like, some dude will come in there and he'll just, from the start, like, I fucking made his phone, like, I fucking work for Apple. He'll fucking slam it on the table and he'll be like, what is this fucking piece of shit you sold me? I want all my money back. I paid too much money to you. Like, first off, you've never paid me
I
anything.
didn't get a dime.
Like, he's like, what do I fucking pay you for? I'm like, you don't pay me. And in fact, you needed help setting that up to your car? If you want help, that'll cost you $35 because I don't even get paid to work here. I only get paid if I sell you something or if I do something for you, you have to pay me. And he's like, well, why do I pay Verizon? And like, do I look like Verizon to you? I'm like, I work commission and I am here to help you if you want it, but you have to pay for it because people don't just get things for free. If you want something for free, go find whoever owns Verizon and ask them. he got really mad at that, and he told me, I'm going to contact your HR. I'm like, good, like,
See, you
maybe
luck
they'll
out with
fucking...
all that, though, because you don't look like you were in the Army. You don't look like a vet. I don't think I pass.
Hey, and
Like
it's
tattoos.
Yeah,
tattoos given
As
away.
soon as, like, I go to anywhere else, even home on leave or something like that, like, people come up randomly because they know I'm not in the fucking Air Force. And they're like, oh, like, who are you with? Like, what's your unit? I'm like, oh, I'm blah, blah, blah here. Like, how did you even know? Oh, it's the haircut. And, like, I have, like, a pretty fucking decent dude haircut. Like, there's
Yeah.
no I teeter on the gray areas of, like, fucking regs.
there's no in between, which is dumb.
Yeah.
It's like some people will be like, you have no idea what it's like to serve. Like, what the fuck? Get the fuck away from me, Pogue. And then they'll be like, you were in Special Forces, weren't you?
Mhm, yeah.
Not even fucking
Like, you're a
close.
big dude with tattoos, immediately you're just automatically military.
That's what my fucking barber asked me the other day. They were like, I was just like asking her a question. She's like, you were in Special Forces, weren't you? I didn't even look like I was in Special Forces. Like, come on. I know myself. I don't even look like I was in Special Forces. Like, don't give me that shit.
No, I know a couple guys you're Bill in Special
Yeah.
Forces, bro.
Yeah. But as a civilian, you should be thinking only like these Superman-looking motherfuckers are in
Right?
Special Forces.
Yeah.
Because you
That
don't
is true.
understand
That
that
is
it
true.
doesn't actually matter how you look. It matters how you perform. And
That's
sometimes
true,
you
yeah.
don't have to look the cut to make the cut.
Very true.
Civilians don't
That is
understand that, so they shouldn't be saying that to me.
That is true.
Like, I feel like I perform better than I look like I perform.
Civilians look at Captain America as the army.
That's true.
Like, oh,
Bro, if they everyone's built like Captain America,
Yeah.
then
lethal force, for
yeah,
sure.
Yeah.
And that's why we have so many fat bodies.
Mhm.
And that's why my unit is taping next month.
Ooh.
We're going to start barring fat bodies.
Bye bye.
Thank fuck. Because we need to.
I don't get people who don't take care of themselves at all.
I-
Like, people who
Yeah.
like are at like borderline fucking death. They're so unhealthy. Why?
I love watching that show, that 600-Pound Life or whatever. It's just, it's so cringy. Like,
I
How-
play
at
Xbox.
what point are you like, this is a problem?
I play Xbox
Right.
with someone whose wife watches that all the time, so I'm always like listening to the show, and I'll be
it.
playing and stuff, and then they'll be like, and I just couldn't stop eating pumpkin pies. I had 13.
4 of them.
And it was only 8 a.m. I'm like, what the fuck?
I watched one
Wait,
dude
wait,
have,
wait.
he has
No.
a tab at an ice cream truck. That's not a thing.
I look at it as like, bro, how did you like? How are you financing this?
Yeah.
That's my big thing. Like,
That's
how
a
are you
good point, too,
financing
yeah.
this?
I hear on this show, they're
Yeah.
like, and I had to fucking sell my house just so I could afford 6 more meals today. Oh, what? At least you got your priorities straight, you know?
But, like, what happened to, like, 300 pounds? Or, like, 4?
I'm
or
even
5?
pushing 300, and I'm just like, bro.
Like, at what point are you like, damn, I'm kind of fucking
The
big.
world's gonna
yeah,
get
but you don't
unhealthy.
look big.
Sort of
Everyone's
like,
thinking like
so y'all know
230.
how
Yeah, like-
y'all know how like stocks work, where they'll be like, if there's like a real like extreme high,
Stonks.
it sort of corrects itself and everybody sells and it goes back down, or if, like everything drops and all
Mm-hmm.
of a sudden it just fucking tanks and tanks and everybody's like, oh, it's tanking, everybody sells, it tanks. At some point it corrects itself and it like levels out, right? Sort of like stocks, stonks.
Stonks.
America's been, and the world, but mainly America's just been rapidly declining. And we're on that decline. And so, like, in the next few years, it's just going to get so much worse, so fast.
Yeah.
Eventually, it'll hit fucking bottom, right? We're not even there yet. Things are only going to get worse and faster and faster and faster. So, like, we're so much worse than we were 5 years ago. Way worse than we were 10 years ago. But in 1 year, we'll be way worse than we are now.
Yeah.
Eventually, it'll stop. It'll correct itself, with whether it's like World War III, some nuclear war, Ice Age. Something's going to correct it.
As long as I get that little squirrel in my time.
Like some law that comes out where they're like, everybody only gets like 1 meal a day now just because we ran out of food because we fired all the farmers
Bro.
because we thought it was a good idea. And then we
Yeah.
realized, wait,
We
where does
need
all this food come from? From the grocery store.
Yeah.
If we get rid of people who make food, we have to make it ourselves.
Yeah, but there's
I don't
always
even know how to do
McDonald's.
that.
There's always McDonald's.
People don't. People,
I'll tell you what, my diet right now is just so fucking boring. It's literally, my breakfast is just egg whites, but it's the carton egg whites, so I don't even have to like
Those are
crack
my
eggs.
go-to.
I don't get why people have to have complicated diets, though.
Mine is egg whites. My lunch is
Like, if you buy
chicken and rice.
fact,
My dinner is chicken, rice, and broccoli.
but how much easier is your life now that you just fucking, you've got your food. You got a
Oh, yeah.
bulk food, and you're like, I know what I'm going to eat, and I
take-
know it's going
take
to
my
taste good, and I know it's
lunchbox
going to fill me
with
up.
Hey, you know
I
what?
make these protein balls though. These things are good though.
I eat
I
a
love
lot
some
of
fucking
rice
protein
cakes.
balls.
Yeah, rice cakes are
So
the
I eat a
shit.
lot of rice cakes, sliced cheese, and like
Some
sliced
Colby
meat.
Jack? I love Colby Jack.
Sliced meat, and those I can eat 4 of those, and those are like less than like 300 calories.
Yeah, it's easy.
I have this dumb metabolism, which everybody's like, look, I wish I could have it.
I wish
But
I
as
could
someone
have
who's
it.
always aspiring to get fucking
yeah, you're not
yoked,
gonna be big.
you don't want it. Because if I don't eat 3,500 calories a day,
You're gonna
I
start losing weight.
cannot gain weight. And if I eat less than 2,500 calories a day, I lose weight.
yeah, my
I
body's
have to
not
fucking
like that at all.
gorge myself
I can't
just
gain
to
weight now.
maintain a light weight.
Oh, my body retains everything.
Really?
Like
Mine
if I
doesn't.
if I act like
There's pros and cons to both.
so,
yeah.
I think with my metabolism, for me to lose weight, I need to eat 2,500 calories, and that's like me like paying attention to what I eat.
Yeah.
If I eat like just not paying attention, I guarantee eat over that, and I put on weight.
I have
I
to
don't.
force feed myself 12 fucking meals a day, and I'm like, I gained 1 pound this week.
Bro, I wish I see people like, oh, just
You don't
not pound
wish.
like nothing.
That's
Like, I
too
can't.
far. That's
I
too
try
far.
to. I always weigh myself at night because it makes me feel better. Because like you're always heavier at night.
Yeah.
And then I'll weigh myself in the morning because I know it's
Well,
gonna
it's like
piss
2
me
pounds.
off. But like I just do it anyway, and then it's always like 5 to 7
Sounds like
pounds.
you ride
I'm
a
like,
roller
God
coaster
damn it.
emotionally.
Bro, like
I really do. Like my life is
bro,
just a
I
roller
feel like
coaster.
during the day when I eat, I'm like, when the fuck did I eat 4 pounds of food? Like, I didn't eat that much food.
I wish.
And then I wake up the next morning like, I just lost 4 pounds. Like, I'm back to my normal weight again.
I get on that scale, see 200, and I'm like, yes. And then I get on the scale in the morning, I'm like, no.
Bro.
I just don't get it. Like, America's like, yeah, we got the fucking fattest country ever. And I'm like, I eat just like them. Just like them. And I can't gain any weight. It sucks.
You
just
don't eat
because
just like them. You don't eat fucking 3 fucking large pizzas and then
Yeah.
a fucking 2 boxes of breadsticks with a 2-liter.
That is how I eat.
I am like, I am
That's
old
how
now.
I eat.
I am old now.
Do you know what I had yesterday?
What did you have?
That.
So for dinner,
what's
I
his
had
name?
5 burritos from Taco Bell. And then for lunch, I had
judging you now.
Totino's pizza and a beef burrito
Bro,
from in my freezer.
I already
And
gained
for
like 2
breakfast,
pounds
I
by
had
the
like
next day.
3 Pop-Tarts and like 2 frozen meals that I fucking heated up. And then I had snacks in between all this shit. And, you know, I still have my dessert at the end of the night. And you know what happened? I feel like I'm losing weight still.
Bro, this is what. Let me see what I had.
What am I
this morning.
supposed to do?
I had 3 slices of bacon because I made pancakes this morning. I made pancakes. I had 4 pancakes. That was my only meal. I got my wife Chick-fil-A, and I said I'm only gonna eat French fries and a milkshake. That's all I had. And then I'm guaranteed by tomorrow I'm like, oh, I gained like 2 pounds.
If I ever feel hungry, I know I've lost a couple pounds. Like fat. Like if I'm to the point where I'm hungry, it's like, fuck, I fucked up.
I eat a lot of spinach
That's a
and
week's
tomatoes
worth of
now.
work
bro.
gone. So I just don't even really try
I've been-
anymore.
I've been
Granola and yogurt is what
I've
I
been
eat
doing
too
a lot
for
of
breakfast.
volume eating. So
Yeah.
I do. So there's like these mini wontons you can buy from Walmart. You can eat 13 of those things, and they're 200 calories. Like they're like this big.
Yeah.
So I do that with cauliflower rice. So
Oh, yeah.
300 calories, and I feel it fills me up. I feel good. I might eat that when I get home because I'm.
See, I have
hungry.
to. It's dumb. Like I have to look for. I'm like, there's not enough calories.
It's so like I want to get down to 225. And it's so
See,
fucking hard.
I'd like to go the opposite. I'd like to get up to 225.
like I'm back in the gym again. Like
I
want to
weigh 170. That's how much I want to weigh, and that's like 2 years away from me.
Yeah,
I'm battling 155.
I'm back in the gym again, so like my body's getting used to like just working out, and I'm just like, all right, cool. So that's helping me. Like even if I do have a shitty day eating, I'm not putting on any extra weight.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I need to get like, I run now. I'm like, man, my joints hurt, like my knees hurt. But I want to get down to 225. Like that was like my Q course weight. Like I'm never going to hit 200 again. I don't think I want to be that small again. I said
Yeah,
small, but
there's like depending on your height and your body type, like there's good perfect weights for
yeah,
you. Where it's like
225 is like good.
you
for
don't
me.
need to go higher or lower. Like
I like the build I was still able to run like under 40 minute 5 milers. Like I was performing well, still like at the top. But when I was 200 even, I was super lean. Like I was a runner. I was more of a runner than push ups, sit ups. Like
Yeah.
my push ups, sit ups were still shitty then, but like I can run my ass off. Like my squad leaders look at me like, "Do you always run in the fucking sub 12s?" I was like,
Yeah.
no, like
Oh.
I just had a good day, but like I would be under 13.
Yeah.
Like 13, 11 would be like slow for me.
I haven't ran over 13 since that one in Afghanistan.
I haven't.
That was
ran.
my last. That was my
in,
last over 13 2-mile.
Yeah, this unit about to get it. I'm like,
I think
bro,
in the
I'm
last
not
2
in shape at all.
years, in the last 2 years, I've ran twice.
Yeah.
And that was the forced times on deployment.
On deployment.
Yeah, it's been nice.
I bet.
Although, like, I'm to the point now where I'm like, if I don't run now,
Yeah.
in 10 years, I won't even be able to run. I'll be like,
But see, like, see,
my
that's how I
body's
look
not
at it
used
now.
to it.
Like, see, I look at it now. Like, now you can run at your own leisure.
That's true.
There is no standard.
With
That's
with
harder
music,
though. I
but-
feel like harder running at your own leisure. You're less forced to run.
Yeah, so it's hard because it's easier because like I don't have to meet a time standard,
Yeah.
but it's harder because like I don't have to
Nobody's
run that
telling
far.
you to.
I don't have
Yeah.
run
Luckily,
that
the
far.
way I was like raised, like I have great drive. So like when it comes to physical stuff or like working and stuff, I'll always push myself.
Yeah.
So I still like I work out. I try to like 5 times a week, and I'll go work out for an hour, 2 hours. And I push myself as hard as I possibly can. I like seeing that progress. It's just amazing not being told how to work out by someone who doesn't really understand physical fitness and stuff. Being able to do
Yeah.
my own program, my own research, like because even if you do understand physical fitness, you're not going to understand every body type, and people do need to work out differently for their different goals and stuff like that.
That's why I still don't get home until 8:00, 8:30 at night. Because after work, I'm in the gym.
Yeah, I
None of my soldiers lift with me though.
next house,
Lazy.
I'm building a nice gym.
I'm
I'm gonna
gym.
have my own gym. It's gonna be nice. I've got big goals for this next residence of mine. I'm gonna have fucking everything.
I'll be watching too much Juju Mufu. I'm trying to give me a fucking trampoline and be 225 doing backflips.
Juju Mufu is pretty cool.
I
Juju
love it.
Mufi,
Yeah.
Mufu, Gufu, Mufu.
I love this channel, man.
Yeah.
I never finish a video, but I always click them.
I like their energy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good stuff. I'm hoping to be out of here by April.
Yeah,
Out of this
okay.
house, out of Fayetteville. I'll still be. Probably, if we find a house that's like an hour north of here, there. If we have to go 2-3 hours, we will.
Yeah.
Because it depends on what's on the market. Obviously, we don't want to be homeless for too long.
Yeah.
Too long. You have 2 kids. I would hope you don't want to be homeless at all.
Fuck 'em. You know what I mean?
Yeah, hey,
No,
little
so
camping never hurt anybody.
we know there's going to be a period of time between this house and the next house because of how long the buying process starts. So we do have a place to stay in the meantime. We
Okay.
aren't going to be homeless.
That's good.
We'll just be fucking squatting. You
Yeah,
know?
backpacking out of
Hey.
fucking out of a storage locker.
Yeah. You know what it is. The goals are big though.
That's good. You gotta
That's
have big
good.
goals so you
Yeah.
can fail higher.
What's
to
his
it.
name? The Musk bitch? Elon?
Oh,
It's
it's like, what the fuck?
He says basically cram your 10-year plan into 6 months.
Oh,
It's going to be impossible for you to reach it. But in 6 months, trying to get your 10-year plan done, you'll get further than you ever would have imagined. So you might get, to your 2, 3, 4 year mark in 6 months because you try and get it all, push yourself. Is basically
it's weird.
like,
My 10-year
stop
plan
trying
is
to
to
like
retire.
pace yourself and just wait on things to happen.
Yeah. Because I probably have enough money saved up to probably have a down payment for a duplex or something.
Unless we can fucking speed up time, I ain't going anywhere.
That's the thing about contractual obligations.
Right.
Is no matter how much you push it,
My
it's
time
still
ain't-
going to be the
ain't
same
speeding
amount
up.
of length before you're done.
Yeah.
And that's why I was so lazy in the military, because whether it was a hard working day or a lazy day, it was still a day towards 4.5 years. And everybody's
True.
like, why are you always skipping out on this and that and this detail? Like, why do I have to do that when it's going to still count as a day?
It's gonna fucking
I can
be
go
there.
home and play video games, or I can go play in the woods with you, LARPing, while you yell at me and smoke me, and, get into my ass about fucking wearing my sleeves rolled once.
Bruh.
Or I can go fucking beat off in my room 16 times.
True, yeah.
It's
Good.
still a day.
Man,
I'm still just as prepared for war.
the day my buddy Sergeant Royal, he's in fucking 5th group I think right now. He told me, he was like, "Hey Parks," he was like, "We're fucking LARPing," and my brain blew up. I was like, What? He
said,
was like,
"What?"
we're just out here fucking LARPing, bro. I
There
was
goes my
like,
motivation.
I was like, no.
And you want me to go there?
No.
One thing I like about the Marines is that they've dumbed them down so much that they really do like have so much pride and they put that work in.
Yeah.
Because they think they're the best, they really act as if like they're the best, which gets some good work out of them.
I mean, they still eat
Imagine
fucking crayons
being
and
like-
rocks.
Just coming from where we were, like just imagine having pride in your unit and stuff. Like, have you ever found a Marine that's not so fucking proud of being a Marine?
Yeah,
I
they-
wish I
yeah.
got brainwashed to that level. How happy would I be?
We're the greatest.
That is true. They,
The few, the proud.
I can't even be mad at them
Right,
at all
right.
about it.
Hey,
It's like
I tried to
wish
join
I
the
could have
Marines.
some pride, and the longer you're out, the more you can like pick out the good memories,
Yeah.
turn that into this fake story, and be
Yeah.
proud about it.
Yeah.
Because you cut out 300% of everything that happened. You pull the 6 good things that happened, and that's your whole military.
That's
Because I'm,
your
like,
story.
It was great.
never going to tell a civilian like my bad experience.
Right.
I'll tell another soldier my bad experience because
Yeah.
that's how we like communicate like through these shitty
Yeah,
times.
exactly.
But to a civilian, we're like, oh yeah, I did this, and that. Oh, that's so cool. Like,
There I
you know,
was,
like,
starving in the woods in Louisiana,
they're like, man,
walking
it's hardcore.
70 miles.
It's
fucking-
always
it's
made me
fucking
giggle
bad.
whenever you see another dude that like you haven't seen in a long time, and your first question to them is always like, "Hey, how much longer you got?"
Right.
Like we're in prison. Like,
Right? The military is the only other
6
organization.
months till I'm out.
yeah, like how
Man,
much longer
freedom,
you got?
huh? What are you gonna do when you're out?
Right.
No
I don't
idea.
even
I
know.
don't even know.
You gotta have a plan.
I don't
They'll
even
keep
care.
you in here. They can't keep me in here.
I don't care about my plan. I just need to get out.
It's everyone's first fucking question. How much longer you got? And I get asked that all the time, and every time I tell them like, "Hey, I fucking."
And just
I
like prison,
stabilized
there's
her, I
that one
re-enlisted."
fucking like criminal.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm gonna live here.
That's me. Yeah,
This is my place. I don't want out.
I've already decided
you
that
and
I
Leo.
Okay, Sergeant Major.
I have hit that fucking crusty, that normal, stereotypical crusty E6 fucking weasel that like never wants to leave work to go back home because he fucking hates his home life. And I'm like, fuck, that's me.
You either die a hero, live long enough to see yourself become an E6.
Keep my soldiers here to live and fucking
Ain't
be
that
here
the
forever.
fucking truth?
Well, say it's a pretty good place to end the podcast.
Yep.
Any closing statements?
Fuck trans.
Peace, love, and hair grease.
In a polite way, fuck all of you. Tune in for the next episode.
All right.
Thanks for listening.